Should race matter when choosing a spouse? This is Zacchaeus' topic. Should race matter when choosing a spouse? This is Zacchaeus' topic.
Yes, it is.
Now
Yes.
Zacchaeus, you
Yes.
have the floor. You could delegate how you want to open up your opening statements, your inspiration for this topic, and how you want to go about it. You go ahead, Zacchaeus.
Yes. 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 Whoever's coming in, very interesting topic to talk about interracial dating. Should we? Do you believe in interracial dating, or how you feel about it? And I'm open up to everybody's opinion, and hear how they feel about it. Remember, it's who you when you close the door. Remember this: when you close the door, it was you when you're with your significant other. You know how you feel about her. She knows how you feel about. It's how you make each other feel, and how you feel about each other, how you love each other, how you embrace each other. So, the topic is: do interracial doesn't really matter in this case it matter, and I'm open up to it, and I'm gonna give my once everybody talk about it, I will give my opinion on it, and I don't prefer no profanity, no nothing like that, but I'm open up to people's opinion on this hot topic.
Well,
But it is a hot topic. It was gonna be sizzling hot.
yeah. So
Yeah,
now
sizzling hot.
Zacchaeus,
So
now Zacchaeus, my brother. Now you know I have an opinion on this because I've dated outside. You've dated outside in your past before you was married, so we
yeah.
could definitely answer this very effectively. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And I'm very interested. This is a topic that I held out on for a while.
Oh yeah.
I
For the
know
longest time.
you wanted me
Yeah.
to do it months ago. I got
Yeah.
it. But I waited. But I said this is my brother's topic.
Yeah.
If he want to do it, it's gonna be when he's up here. I ain't about to do this topic without you. Okay.
Right. Yep.
And
Okay.
we've talked about interracial dating on our personal podcast, Mrs. Z and Fifth. So I think
Yes,
we
we
kind of
did.
know how
Yeah.
this is gonna go. I hope more people come in on this one. Uh, we see Ultram's in the building. Ultram, what's going on, brother?
Yeah. Ultram, what's going on?
I'm okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
I can hear you loud
can.
and
Let me
clear.
go ahead and hit that applause.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Hey, brother. Now, this is a special I'm doing on TikTok. You know, I talked
Yeah.
about
Yes.
it.
Yes.
You notice how, because I got things looking a little different on this special than I usually do on my TikTok lives, because this is a special day. So
Right.
I got a professional looking setup. Zacchaeus, you see
Yeah.
what I'm working with? You see that?
Yes. I see what you're working with.
It
Yeah.
look dope, right?
I like it.
Very
I like
impressive.
it.
Yeah,
I like
man.
it. I like it a lot. For real.
Yeah, man. I was up all last night trying to get this stuff pre-positioned. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I said, ooh, wait till they see me go live on this special. They're gonna be, and then when we go back to Thursday, they're gonna be like, dang, I missed what you did on the special. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Look at that. Because
They're gonna want me to go
it looks
back.
unique. I never see nobody host like that. Especially on TikTok Live.
Oh, man, you look. Sometimes you gotta. I mean, look. I haven't seen it. Doesn't mean it hasn't been done, but I know personally I haven't seen it. And hey, this is what you got to do. Sometimes you got to stand out from the crowd. You feel me?
You do gotta stand up for the crowd. You do.
You know what I mean? And then, you know me. You know the media training I come from and you come from, so you can
Oh yeah,
appreciate
the media
this.
training. Oh yes, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So should race matter when choosing a spouse? Okay.
Well,
This is what I believe. Oh my bad. Am I allowed to answer it first?
yeah, you gotta go ahead and answer it first. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I believe. I believe things are a little easier when someone is the same race as you in terms of culture and customs and things that may not necessarily have to be pre-explained to someone else who is outside of your race and outside of your culture. But one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that there's race, there's culture, race, ethnicity, culture, and you could be the same race as someone, but have different culture.
Oh yes,
right?
That's for sure.
Like for instance, I'm a foundational Black American, and if I get with a woman who's from South Africa, yeah, we both Black, right? But
yes,
her culture is different from mine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then we may be the same race.
Yes.
So there's some things that are half the battle. Mm-hmm. But then also the culture part we can still clash on, because there are things that I'm foreign to her that she's foreign to me because we're of different cultures. Can it work? Yes. Now Zacchaeus, I don't know if you mind. I'm not going to say your wife's name.
No, good. No,
but am I allowed to say her ethnic group?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, so Zacchaeus' family is from Guyana.
Yeah.
Zacchaeus is Guyanese. His wife's family is from Haiti.
Yeah.
Okay? So we have a Haitian and a Guyanese in a marriage. Right? They're relatable things, but at the same time, they're different cultures technically.
Yes.
Right? So
absolutely.
So that would be an example there, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I said half the battle is because they're both Black.
We're both Black, yes.
Right. But there's that subtle difference, right? So if you're going to date outside of your race, just know that whatever their race is, you have to make sure that you are considerate, and you stand by whatever their causes are. Otherwise, you should not be with them. Case in point. This always happens politically, and when something racist happens.
Yes,
so let's just say we have a police brutality situation, which happens quite often in this great state of the Americas, right?
Right.
And where do the other race stand when a certain situation happens and you don't have to fight a particular cause, right? Is that person of that other race going to stand with you or against you? That's at a base level.
Let me tell you with that now. When you marry somebody that is, I'm talking about different race now, right? You marry somebody different weight. You're white, they're Black. You're Black, they're white. So you have a different experience than they do. They don't understand. They will not understand ever being Black, right? They're not gonna understand that. They won't understand. They won't understand until they walk around your shoes. They will never understand that. Now, and you're gonna and especially if you ever have kids, and they're automatically considered Black once you married to let's say for a white woman, right? Automatically. So you have to sit down just like how you sit down with other Black kids and explain to them what Black people go through and how they carry on in society. You see? So when it comes to that, it's sticky. You feel more comfortable being with somebody of your own race when it comes down to situations like that. Because you can talk about it. Because you know where each other's coming from. Compare if you marry somebody of another race. You have a better understanding of each other. And it's a more comfortability. It's not intense. It's not intense at all. But when you marry somebody of other race, it's a very sticky situation to even.
Yeah, Zacchaeus, your audio went out. Zacchaeus, you there?
You hear me?
Yeah, your audio was cutting in and out, man. You was cooking.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Listen, I'm driving. I'm almost home too. Yeah. You can hear me good?
Yeah, we hear you. You were talking about you were talking about the relatability and the differences and stuff like that. And sometimes it could be dependent on the race that the person is. Because some would say black and Latino, black and white, black and
Yes,
Asian
yes.
has their dynamics. White and Asian, white and Latino. You see what I'm saying? White and Arab. Arab and black.
Well, it
Black
depends.
and East
It depends
Indian.
on the
Yeah.
It depends on the Latino. It depends on the Latino
No,
because
you're right because
Puerto Rican,
because they're
Dominican,
black. You're right.
Panamanian,
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
they're blacks.
Right.
They're black people. You know what I'm saying?
You're right
Yeah.
about that. You got your mulatto, mestizo, and then you got your. I understand. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, unless
You're
they're
right.
from Spain, that's different. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Let's get.
Yeah, like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Let's get Ultra.
So
Let's get Ultra involved and then Meerkat in the conversation. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So the question, let me let Meerkat. I'm gonna let Ultram go, okay? Because he popped up. Ultram, you there, brother?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
So the question is, the grand question is, should race matter when choosing a spouse? I know me and Zach. I know I was long winded. Sorry, but yeah, that's the topic. Should race matter when choosing a spouse?
Well, I mean, it matters because it's not meant to be ignored. But for me personally, it's the compatibility that's more important. Despite the skin color, despite the culture, despite the race. For me, it's compatibility, it's agreeability, and when I say agreeability, I don't mean that we have to be robotic. We can agree to disagree depending on the magnitude, and I think that when we vet each other to see where we stand on very different situations, even some that could be controversial or challenging, that helps as determining factors as to our compatibility for growth in the progression of relationships. So it does matter, but I just say that we all have a hierarchy of what's more important when it comes to this. And for me, even though I acknowledge the race or culture, it's the compatibility factor and understanding factor that I seek. And again, I didn't say we have to be robotic. We are not robots. But at the same time, if we can come to a mutual understanding, even if we agree to disagree, depending on the magnitude, it'll work.
Meerkat, what do you think? And then, hey, Zacchaeus, I'm going to take because I've been up here for 6 hours on screen. I'm going to take a brief intermission in about a minute here, but I'm still going to be here, okay?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Meerkat, what do you think? Should race matter when choosing a spouse?
Initially, no, it shouldn't. You're two human beings. But I think you should have common goals. You should have common beliefs. You should not be polar opposites on your belief system. Learning about each other involves getting to know each other. Does the family accept that person also? Because that's going to be a lot of conflict that you have to really decide if you just want to handle it, But all that aside, it shouldn't matter. But what are the deal breakers? You have to know what your deal breakers are. Do y'all listen to the Hodge twins?
I heard of them.
You've heard of the Hodge twins on YouTube?
I heard of them through a guy named Tommy Sotomayor. I heard of
They crack me up. Oh my God. They refuse to date women of their own race. They're married to women of other race, and they are very open about it. They give you direct reasons why, and I mean they make valid points, and but I mean, I had a cousin that she was in the Peace Corps in Africa, and she married a guy from Africa, and they lived in New York. He had an export business in New York. We didn't know till years later that she had married, she was married and living in New York. Her dad died not speaking to her because he taught her not to be prejudiced. But when she married someone, he just cut her off and wouldn't speak to her no more. And then he died like that. So it was really pitiful. Her family accepted her. I mean, nobody has thought anything about it. I have a niece that's married to a Hispanic. Beautiful family.
Yeah.
No, we don't look at that. Our family's like that. Not all families are like that.
Right.
But my grandparents was old school prejudiced, but that never influenced my belief system and that sort of thing. And it's like dating somebody who's white. That doesn't mean they're good people. It means sometimes they're really bad, So I think people go look at different races for that reason, because the people in their own race has given them a bad taste in their mouth for whatever reason. But then again, it's just sometimes you just innocently meet somebody in a group setting, and you just decide that that doesn't matter. That it's that person. You're drawn to that person. It's that person that pulls you in.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with race. It's that person. They don't see race. They don't see color.
Right.
Until the family gets involved.
Until the family gets involved. Yeah.
Until they may not appreciate that,
Yeah.
Well, see, here's my problem with not seeing color. I'm gonna just say this real quickly.
I can go into more when I say not see color. You have to see color. I mean, that is just the way it is.
Yeah.
But
So
not letting you judge that person. That's my point.
Right here.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So let me kind of. So thank you, Midcat. Let me touch on the people who date outside their race, and they say the words "I don't see color," right?
Right.
I think you have to see color. And no, to see color is to also see where they come from as well, their culture, and you can celebrate it for what it is. So, me personally, I can never say I don't see color. I do see color, but then I also see character, and I also see other things. And if there's a particular history that the color of the woman that I am dating, it has a certain history tied to her people, and her cause, I can't just ignore her color. I'm gonna see her color, I'm gonna see her culture, and I'm gonna respect it and celebrate it for what it is. For instance, I think God did something very special with all of us. We all have unique backgrounds, cultures, customs, and things that are unique to who we are and where we come from and how we were raised, right? And there are so many things that that other cultures have that I find joy in, and it's not even mine, right? I find joy in my own, absolutely, but I also could find joy in others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like to acknowledge and respect that, because like I said, when it's all about you and that person, that conflict may not arise. But when the conflict becomes bigger than you and that person, and it's a global issue, you have to have a call to action with that person that you're with. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem.
Oh, yes.
You're going, and let me tell you something. I know some people that say,
yeah, that's for sure.
And check this out, Midcat. I know some people that say, well, race doesn't matter, but as long as we share the same political views. Okay, now let's talk about that. Political views are very. It's not the topic, Zacchaeus. I know. I'm sorry, but I just want to kind of make
Okay, no, go ahead. It all ties into it.
Right. Political views make a good context here. Because me and Kate, you mentioned Hodge twins. I was quiet, but I know who they are. My thing with them, my thing with them is this. They're biracial themselves. Okay?
Right.
So they're mixed anyway. So for them marrying women that are not of their ilk, they're mixed anyway. So they don't really see like a quote unquote race loyalty kind of situation going on. They don't really see it because their parents wasn't. So to them, they look at it as being hypocrites, right?
But they catch it from society or something because they are like, why aren't you dating? Why do you not like black women? So they were in an interview. That's why I really saw them. Is they were being interviewed by someone who was asking them those hard questions, and that's where I'm coming from. The crime podcast that they do is hilarious. But anyway.
Yeah, I understand that, but if you're biracial, because to me, self-hate is self-hate. If you're biracial and you hate you have a lot of stuff to say about the half of you that got you here versus the other, I have a problem with that too. So if you're
it sounded like it came from women they had dated. It wasn't necessarily their family. Maybe it was some relatives that have given them a bad taste in their mouth, but I don't know.
We'll see.
That's what it sounded like to me because they gave. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, but see, that's the thing. But that's the thing, Cat. You could have black and white parents and have heat for white people, and then have heat for black people. That's still wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, some people feel like, well, as long as they ain't talking about my kind, we cool. No, it's wrong all across the board.
All across the board.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the things that interracial. Hold on. Okay, I see. My bad, Beyond it. It didn't even show that you even requested. Yeah. So yeah, because I got to go cook. I got to go eat too. But yeah. So yeah, what I was saying was, a lot of times, and this happens with a lot of biracial people, sadly, is that they have what you call identity crisis. What do I identify more with? Halle Berry's black and white. Halle Berry doesn't get treated like a white person because she doesn't pass for white.
Right.
But she had kids with a white man. But she dated black.
Yeah.
Now she's back to black.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that she like I said, she did what she did, but she's biracial. But white people don't look at Halle Berry and say that's a white woman.
No, they don't. No.
So they're going to date what they more so identify with, or what welcomes them the best. So if the black side of her family welcomed her more, and just black people overall welcomed her more, that's the side she's going to lean more close to. But she's black and white. Now I can tell you another side of the coin, and then I'm gonna get to beyond her, is that you have black and white people who pass more for white, and you would have never even known they was black, like Rashida Jones. Rashida Jones is Quincy Jones' daughter. That's the only thing that keeps up her name, because there's not many white women named Rashida. But the fact that she's Quincy Jones' daughter is what ties her back to being a black woman, but she passes more for white. But her sister, same parents, she looks more black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Go ahead, Beyonda.
Yeah, just to answer the question really quick. Should race matter when choosing a spouse? Absolutely not. I'm a fully black man with a Italian girl. She's white. So that did not, like, for me, like, just how I grew up. I grew up in, the hood and whatnot. And so, like, I never had a natural attraction to the hood girls that were there, i.e. they were black. I never really had attraction to a lot of black girls growing up. because I'm a low key dude. I don't be out there doing a lot. So I'm very quiet, and I don't like my girl to be doing a lot of nonsense. And so whenever I went to school and I would see the white girls, they'd be like quiet and kind of like more my vibe. So I just had a natural attraction to white girls growing up in school and whatnot, because the black girls that I was around was never like pleasant enough to be around. So that's the only like when it comes to a race, every race has like their share of mannerisms
There's a
and whatnot.
background noise. I think it's Meerkat. Let me mute Meerkat real quick. Yeah, that's
A
what it
lot
was.
of a lot of races have like their share of mannerisms, because otherwise, like, how would a stereotype would not exist if many people of that stereotype didn't act that way? I'm not saying that it's right to have them, but I am saying that generally speaking, when you're analyzing different groups of people, no matter if you're French, you're Italian, whatever, everyone acts different within those groups. You know what I'm trying to say? So, like, if when I grew up, I knew a lot of black people who acted a certain way, black girls, black men, whatever. So when I was getting into the dating part, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna go for that. I'm gonna go for the other one. That's the only things that matter for me. It's really the mannerisms that go with it. And now, are there black women that are pleasant and not out there doing too much? Yeah, sure. But like, generally speaking, a lot of them are out there that do that. That's why for me, it altered the way I chose where I wanted to go in terms of dating, because I already knew like how different people act. Because I grew up in a multicultural city in Connecticut.
Oh,
You know, I grew up around Hispanics, white, you name it, they were there. So I kind of already knew, like, who was doing what and where I wanted to go and where I didn't want to go. I land there.
oh,
Hey,
yeah. You connected.
hey, brother, stay right there. Zacchaeus, I'm very sorry.
It's
Sorry.
okay.
I don't mean to step on because this is your program.
It's okay. It's okay.
Beyond, I
It's
have to
okay.
ask a question. Okay, now I mean
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean this with all respect. I'm not trying to be offensive. Not
Go
trying to be
ahead.
offensive. You mentioned that your fiance is Italian.
Yeah.
What's the stereotype of Italians?
Of Italians? Well, she means she more she's more Irish than she's Italian, but her dad's side's Italian. Yeah. Um, I know where you're going with that, Phil. I'm not. Listen, you're not talking to some dude who don't know where. I know where you're going with that. And I would tell you this: like, most of her family loves me, so it's not even like a thing. It's like, the thing is, with her family, they grew up in America, so the standards over here, they're Americanized, they're not Italianized. If it was more Italy based, like New York, whatever, it would be a little different. But no, they grew up in the South, so it's a little different.
But beyond the reason why I brought that up is because Italians have stereotypical tropes almost in line with the stereotypical tropes of black people in America.
Yeah, it's true.
Italians are regarded because there's interracial, if that's a word. There's
Interracial. Yes.
interracial, and then there's interracial, meaning race
Yes.
within a race.
Yes. So
Okay.
you know what? I know where you're going with that. You're talking about Sicily? Where like Italians don't like Sicilians? Whatever?
Yeah, I'm talking about. I wasn't even going to go that far. I was just talking about how I don't know if I could even call it a white diaspora, but I'll just call it the Europeanism view, right? The Europeanism view on Italians is very negative. Very negative. They are treated like the black people of how white people would treat black people here in America.
Well, used to.
Well, I don't know. If you have a conversation with an English, I'm pretty sure they got opinions about Italians, and the one thing they'll keep going into is the mob.
I'm talking about how like white people don't view blacks the same way they used to view them. Like back in the 60s, it's a little different now. It's a lot different. You can't even front that, because it's a lot different. It is not the same dynamic as it used to be.
Well, until you
not even close.
Until you run across a MAGAite, then you may hear some things that you probably heard when you was 12, and then you may be like, "Dang, that sounds like a hardcore racist."
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but that's the same thing with like, if someone's doing YN stuff, I'm not a YN. I don't do YN things. So I wouldn't
YN?
be considered a YN. I'm just a
Well,
regular black man.
well, see, and that word YN is a wild name because YN ties to a specific people, not so much a specific behavior. Because if we're talking about rowdiness, what's that? Degeneracy. That's in all races. So let me just get to my point without walking beyond it. There. What I'm saying is that the Italians are regarded to as mafias. Matter of fact, because the first drive by Putin, the first drive by Pow Pow was by Italians, right? They try to link that to black people. They did that first. A lot of that mob culture, mafia stuff, a lot of that stuff that maybe black people get some stuff from in certain movies. That was in the that was in that thing. And what I'm saying is beyond it is with her being Italian, you was able to look past whatever stereotypes are against Italians. And what I'm saying is what black men and women should do is be able to do the same thing with their own kind. I'm not saying you don't, but I'm saying that I'm saying you was able to do that.
Yeah, I do that. I'm saying, okay, so there are different kinds of black people within the black community.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't perpetuate stereotypes that people generally look at us for. So I'm usually hanging around people that don't. I'm around black people who do not perpetuate those stereotypes because you know why? I don't want to be seen with that kind of crowd. That should be fine for me to say that without me being called Uncle Tom or a coon.
Nobody brought that up. I was just making a point.
No. I was bringing it up. I was talking about the whole race thing, right? So like, race shouldn't matter, but the problem is it does.
Yeah.
In a sense that people definitely like look at the behaviors of that race and then determine, okay, well, you know what? Because I know about this and this and this about whites, I'm going to avoid that because I don't want to be dealing with that. It doesn't matter in principle, but in practice it does.
Yeah, because once upon a time, white people in America, if you even sneeze wrong, you got hung. So
Emmett Till didn't even whistle. He got
right.
They lied on him.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I feel like sometimes different cultures are giving a better grace period than others. For the atrocities that may have happened within that, because it doesn't mean we all did it. Like, you know how people say, well, why should I be responsible for reparations?
Exactly.
I didn't have slave masters. I didn't have.
Exactly.
I didn't have slaves, right? But my grands did, right? Okay, cool argument, right? Cool. All right.
Right.
Here's the other side of that argument. Does anybody know that everybody has gotten reparations except black people?
Yes,
even slave masters got reparations. Right? So there's a lot of things that we as American people pay tax dollars for that we don't make no noise about. Right? Not everybody, but that we once upon a time did not make no noise for that, and we pay their reparations blindly. But when black people say, oh, I want reparations, then it's a problem. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when you marry outside your race and you come in contact with certain people, they're going to oppose certain causes that you may have. And if you oppose that, then you should not be with them. That's the point that I'm making. If you're going to be with someone, because when you date someone, you date their culture. You don't just date that person. You date them from somebody who's dated outside of his race.
Yeah.
When you date them, you date their culture.
Yes.
It was one-sided for me because when I dated outside my race, those women disregarded that. They wasn't dating my culture. Once my culture came up, it's you see what I'm saying? So
took offense.
It was one-sided.
Right.
I land.
No, I get that. For sure. And like obviously we're all human beings. It shouldn't matter what color we are, but the problem is that because of the behaviors that be perpetuated by numerous groups, no matter if it's the Italians, Europeans, whatever you want to call it, it's just that over time, over the thousands of years we've been on the earth, behaviors have stuck with each person on whatever geography you want to go with. So whenever people are choosing who they're going to date, they're either going to date within inside their own culture or within their own country, or they're going to go out and find someone that's better. It is what it is, you know.
Well, I say this. Some people, and I know a few. Some people connect better with their own. They feel more comfortable with their own nationality, their own race. Why? Because they have a understanding of each other. Yes, a compatibility factor is great there too, because you can marry somebody from your own nationality and own race and you don't get along. That's you get that too. But when it comes down to certain topics and certain like Fifth mentioned reparations and certain things and certain topics you bring up, certain people, when you marry somebody or you marry somebody that's not of your race, they may feel a way when you're talking about it a lot, and there's an uncomfortability compared to the person that you're of the same nationality or race, not even nationality, just race in the whole. And sometimes if they don't support that, if they're Trump supporters and you're married into their family, or for some apparent reason whatsoever, and they just like you because you're a nice person, you're the good one, then all of a sudden then you say, listen, this is unfair. Like you bring up like certain topics like Nolan Wells, or certain topics like, Tamir Rice. You bring up certain topics, and they're like, no, they're jumping. Some certain topics may not feel comfortable talking with them, and you may want, and sometimes you may want to, and sometimes when you're sitting down with that person, let's say if you're not a race, then you bring up Black History. It's like, oh, and you say, well, they should keep Black History Month going, and then the person say, no, well, it's American history, and the topic becomes very sticky. Because there's one time DeSantis of Florida wanted to cancel Black History Month. He wanted to cancel the whole thing, and it's a more of a comfortability factor, and it's also lies in compatibility too. All these things play a major factor in dating somebody and marrying somebody. Because I believe that too. Once you don't only marry that person, but you marry their culture and you marry who they are, and that's a fact. It's not just marrying that person, because you gotta deal with their family too. You gotta deal with their family too.
And you marry their struggle. So
yes, absolutely.
If there's a struggle that's within their culture, you marry that too. And look, brother. It's kind of easy for me and you to talk about it, but let me let Ultram kind of get in there. Ultram, we kind of said a lot. A lot, okay? And I know I was having a conversation with Beyond only because he brought up something speaks to, right? If we're able to, if you're dating outside your race, this is just very important. If you're dating outside your race and you're able to look past the stereotypical tropes, especially when it comes to white people, and I say that respectfully, because white people have a history in this nation and around the world of doing a lot of unspeakable things. But Black people who date them tend to treat them as individuals, as they should. But when it comes to us, it's I need to figure out what kind of stereotype they are. Really? You see what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to say that when you marry someone, when you date someone, when you marry someone, you are dating and marrying their culture. And maybe it's easier for non-Black people to date interracially than Black people themselves. Maybe that's a conversation that we need to tackle too.
Now you have a point. Matter of fact, Zacchaeus and I, we know a Black man and a Caucasian woman who got married. They worshiped at the same church, but they were forced to break up, I believe, because of her family's insistence. So that's a struggle that does happen. That's a conflict that does happen. And me personally, the woman I married happened to be black, but me personally, as I said before, when I came into this topic, you can't ignore the skin tone. You can't ignore the culture. I'm saying it should be acknowledged, but to each individual, whether they date or marry same race, culture, or something outside, there are other factors that they that have more preference. So and the thing is, look, I'll tell you this. When I got married, I've had so-called friends who happen to be black not come to my wedding on purpose because my best man at the time was a non-black. I mean, yeah, I was hurt, but I got over it. But yeah, these are things that we deal with. There's just a lot of people who are so pro-race that they're just too stuck on that to see the love and compatibility. I mean, you go back to Malcolm X. If you've seen the movie or know his life, I mean, it took him going to Mecca for him to be more open to friendly dialogue with all types of people. So it's up to what you experience. It's up to what you focus on that makes the difference when it comes to other races, whether you date them, whether you marry them, or what have you. And as far as the stereotypes and struggle, I understand where you're coming from, Fifth, because that's why I say, when people say that certain things don't matter, yes, they do matter. They need to be acknowledged, but it's what you put the preference and priority on that makes the difference.
Absolutely. Zacchaeus, remember, I wanted to get into what I ended off my point at. Dang, that's horrible background noise. What's going on? Yes. There's an echo on your side, Zacchaeus. Are you trying to get on
Good.
Bluetooth?
Oh no, I'm on the phone. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I hear you better now. Okay, it was crazy. So
Yeah.
So Zacchaeus, if you don't mind, I kind of want to say this. Is it easier for non-blacks? I wish we had more people on the panel, but I messed around and didn't realize that today's the World Cup final.
Yeah, Spain and Argentina, yeah.
Jesus Christ. So the algorithm, a lot of people are kind of doing their thing. Algorithm's not as friendly to me as I thought it was. But I guess I'll recognize that. I didn't know that months that down the line that today that I do this would fall on the World Cup final. I had no idea. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Spain and Argentina. That's a big one. Yeah.
right. But anyway, so I guess my question is this. Is it easier for non-black people to interracially date each other outside of their races? Because the black experience, especially the black Western Hemisphere part of our experience, Black America, the Caribbean, and South America, because of what we went through with antebellum slavery and then post-slavery, and some of the things that we see happen to this day. Is it that it's a lot harder for us to date interracially because of what we've been through versus what maybe other races who haven't been through the same thing as and scrutiny that we're under to date interracially? Is it fair to kind of say that, or at least explore?
Yeah, it's fair to say that. Yeah, I mean, we're a lot of us are open to dating internationally. You're talking about, right? Internationally, yeah.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is, you have non-black people who find it easier to interracially date, but they're not black, so of course they would say that.
Yeah, they will say that. Yeah, they will say it's in America it's easier, much easier. But the thing is that like what Mary Cat said, you got to deal with it when you deal with their families. Is a different. No, you're not only just dating them, but eventually you got to meet their family, and you got to deal with their family. Even if you decide to say, you know what, let's just your family so negative towards us. Let's just date each other and don't worry about move away from the family. You still got to deal with the family because if they having a function and she has to go and then they don't really accept them, that becomes an issue. It becomes an issue, or find out what he does for a living. Some families are like that. They look at, oh well, how much is he able to take care of my daughter? Is he what he's able to do for my daughter? And they only just look at his race. They look at those play a big factor too. Oh yeah, he's a black man, but can what is he doing for a living? So it does that plays into it too. So so yeah, it can become an issue when it comes to internationally dating. Let's let's say for example now, you are you from the West Indies. That's very broad. You're a West Indian and you're dating somebody that's from let's say Nigeria or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
And but the Nigerian people, they look at education very big, so they look for the man you're with. They hopefully look for you to, sometimes it's a language barrier too. Sometimes the language people, because sometimes you could be into a family and they don't, and some family members don't speak English, and now it's like you don't know if they're talking behind your back or not. You don't know until your significant other tells you what they're saying to you. So that could play a factor into it. All these little elements can play into it. So yeah,
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead, man,
yeah.
Cat it. I'm gonna get the honey
Okay.
tea. All right.
Okay. The 90 Day Fiance group, there's been a couple of Nigerians one in particular, he dated two different white women one was from Georgia. Oh my God, Angela. Oh Lord. Anyway, that thing's got a mouth on her. Oh my
I
gosh.
know that
I know
couple.
I know who you talking
Yeah, I
about,
know that
Georgia.
couple.
Anyway, then he dated another one before her. I think she was older or younger. Soldier Boy. He's a Soldier Boy. He's
Yeah.
a rapper or something. But anyway, he
Oh,
got
Soldier
involved
Boy. Okay.
Well,
yeah,
it's
he
a
got
different.
involved with two
He's a
different.
different Soldier Boy. He's the Africa
No,
Soldier
no.
Boy.
Yeah, no, Angela was married to another guy. Okay, but the guy Soldier Boy dated two white women from America. Not Angela, but it was two other ones, and one she's
Lisa.
Lisa, and then the other one was I can't think of her name.
I
She has her
forgot the
own
other
like little
one.
podcast.
Yeah, she has a
Anyway,
grown son. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and then she just met her son. She put up for adoption. They just brought that
Yeah.
into her thing, and then she's got a daughter too that she put up for adoption. So that's been really hard on her.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then the situation with she married a guy from India. His family, oh my God, I don't know if you saw that. I wish I could remember their
No.
name. Watch 90 Day Fiance. It's she's old. She was older than him, and it wasn't the fact that she was from America, white. I think their issue was she was older, almost his mother's age, and he did not really want to have kids. And the Indian, they really, really, really hated her. And then
Oh.
finally, he brought his mother around and his father, and they finally accepted her. But when they moved in with the mother and father, things started breaking down again. And
Oh.
now she has ALS, so it
Oh
doesn't look
no.
good for her. I know, but he genuinely loves her. He has genuinely loves her. He's respectful of his parents. The Indian, they have their own cultures with their kids. They're grown kids. They all live in the same house, but he genuinely truly loves her. I mean, he's taken flack for loving her and stuff like that, and that's
Yeah.
can be considered. But yeah, it's a whole different world. And to me, what bothers me is these people that go on TV and these making these cultures. Some of them look really bad because of their belief system, and they're wrong for that, because you need to educate yourself on other cultures before you bring them on TV. And you make them sound like they're this horrible people, and they're not. And that's what aggravates me the most is you've got to educate yourself on cultures, especially internationally. Um, that is just that is the because what's acceptable for them and what they born and raised with is polar opposite of Western culture, I guess you would say. Western, I don't care what race you are in the Western culture, it's a mindset too. And some believe in multiple wives. Some believe in you've got to stay with a certain group of people and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think that's the breakdown too. If you really want to be with someone of a different culture, take some time and educate yourself, just like you would for a job. What does this job entail? What is this culture about? Learn the
Right.
language. I mean, you've been
Yes.
dating online for years and you cannot speak one word of especially Nigerian. I mean, you've been dating this man, I love him, but you have not put any effort other than what they show on FaceTime, what you're letting them see on FaceTime. And it's
Right.
just, and then there's scammers, there's scammers on both parts, Western, internationally, there's scammers. I mean, but if you look at where some of these people are coming from, I would want to get out of that too, because the Philippines, there was a 90-day fiance on Philippines. The girl was Filipino and the guy was from America, but he was a little bitty guy. I can't think of his name either.
Big Ed.
Rose and Big Ed, yeah. But when you saw the episode where he went to her village to meet her, she wanted him to shower with her dad, and then they looked down, there was a dead big rat on the floor of where they were taking a shower.
That rat wasn't dead. He was moving.
Oh, but he was freaking out, and it's understandable. But it's except they didn't think nothing about it. It's like, why would you look down on her? But it's like, yeah, come on, be honest about where you live. It was sad. It was really sad, But anyway, so internationally is, you really should educate yourself on the culture differences. I mean, first of all, you meet somebody, you like them. Look into their culture, see what's a deal breaker for you. If you're not comfortable with having another wife in the house because you can't have children or whatever, and there was another couple, he was from Tunisia, and they didn't like tattoos, and she had tattoos, and I mean, it was just, it's gone bad too. She's a bounty hunter or something like that. She does when somebody goes to bail bonds, she works for a bail bond.
Hey, Zacchaeus, make sure you get the honey tea real quick. I gotta once
I gotta go.
Yeah,
I'm landing.
Yeah, once Cat is done, go to honey tea, man. I gotta leave the computer real quick. Hold on.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah. So far, how you like this topic, man? I mean, it's a hot topic that I think that we can really expound on, and it's just a matter of just trying to have an understanding. Compatibility is a big factor. I believe that because, like I said before earlier in the podcast, I said at the end of the day is how you feel about that person. You close the door, she closed the door, and behind the closed walls, nobody know but you and her how you feel about each other. And that's serious. That's important. That's important because you could be from the same culture, race, and it's just not compatible. You just don't get along. It's always a clash.
Right.
It's always a clash.
Yeah.
And but the person that you meet you just happen to meet that person, and that person you just have a strong connection with. You don't know why. They don't speak. They speak a different language, but they also speak English too. But you just have they're a different culture from you, different nationality from you or different race from you, but it's just a connection that's undescribable. The chemistry, the comfortability, the chemistry. You just connect with that person so well, and it's
Right.
like so it's beyond. Now you look beyond skin color, you know. So now it's like, well, we just enjoy each other's company to the utmost, and we
Yeah,
just build and we build together, and we
everything's good in the honeymoon stage. You know, the reality.
exactly. But like what you said, Mary Cat, the only hump you get over now, you got to get over the family hump, the family hump, the
Yeah.
family hump. And if you gotta see if that family, because that's the biggest of all, is by me sitting at the dinner table, or are they gonna invite me in, or are they gonna be shocked with their mouth open wide that I look different, and
Right.
she's bringing me to meet her family, and it's always like a nervousness that comes
Yeah.
over that person. It's always like, well, I don't know if they're gonna accept me because I look this way. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Right.
yeah, and that
Well,
always goes through that person's head. It always does. It always does. In that, oh, they speak a different language. They speaking Spanish. I don't speak Spanish too well. Oh no, they speaking speaking what's the Nigerian
I have
language?
a question.
Yeah,
Um, so with you saying that, you don't know how the family gonna feel if you look this way, I don't understand that part because it shouldn't matter about the family if the person knows how you look, how you speak. It's not about them.
yeah, I know. But you see, the thing is that as time goes on, she's gonna want you to come around her family. So
Yeah,
as time goes on, you may be in the honeymoon phase, like what Mary Cass said. You may be in the honeymoon phase at the beginning, it's all sweet and dandy, but at the few months go by, few 3 months go by, she's gonna want you to meet her mother. If the mother's still around, you gonna want you to meet the father. If the father's still around, you may have to meet her sister or brother,
mm-hmm.
you know, and that always plays a factor. Yeah, you know, you're like, no, and she wants to know if you can blend in with her, and that's important to a woman. She wants to know if you can blend with her family, if you could get along with her family, if you can, if you can sit down and talk to her father. It's important, especially if she's looking to marry you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing because it's one thing to say, oh, we're gonna stay together, and we're not gonna be around the family, but eventually you're gonna want to be around your family, and she's gonna want to be around her family. Is Especially if you have a close brother or you have a close sister, and that she wants to know, well, is my family able to get along with you? Is my family able to? It's important because who wants to be in a family that they just don't receive you?
Nobody,
Nobody,
nobody
nobody. Deep down,
wants
you don't
that.
want that.
Nobody don't want that, but that's
You don't want that.
I feel like it's too much pressure and too much stress on a person when they already have to deal with the relationship itself. Like if
Yeah.
we feel like we don't know what we want with this person or like this person enough to bring them around, because sometimes let me tell you something about family.
Mm-hmm.
If they really love you like they're supposed to love you or say they love you, you should be able to support what I got going on. Now, if it's something like a bad relationship or messed up, of course you're gonna tell your family members gonna put their input in it.
Of
But
course, of
but
course,
that's
of course.
understandable. But I
Yes.
mean, me, if I'm bringing you to my family, I really into you. I'm into you. I'm gonna
Yes.
tell you that
Yes.
right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm gonna let my people know I'm dealing with this person and I'm gonna have y'all meet him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I can have a little bit of ratchetness in my people, but they know the time when is a time and a place for everything.
Yes, it's true. It's true. It's a time and place for everything under the sun. It's true. Yeah.
Uh, you know, I'm good on respect, no matter
Mm-hmm.
no matter what it is. And if you can't respect who I'm bringing, then we might have to do a little space because
Yeah.
you don't be rude to somebody I'm bringing or a guest. If you feel some type of way, then we could talk about that later, and then we handle it. But you're not in front of my guests.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's how my family roll.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And that's good. That's good to know for the person that you're with and the person that you're dating, that your family is very open, because some people are not
Yeah,
so.
I'm from the Virgin Islands.
Oh,
So
you was Virgin Islands. Ah,
yeah,
okay.
so I'm from the when I was young growing up, that racial stuff, I didn't really know about that till I get to America.
Of
It's
course. Yeah,
that
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's the bad part about it, and this is my opinion. Okay, I get Caucasians, I get Filipinos, I get people that talk like me back home.
Yeah,
So it was not. I didn't see that growing up.
yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
No
I know what you
integration,
mean.
no
I
racial stuff.
definitely
So,
understand. Yeah.
so I never had a problem with dating outside of my race. I didn't have a problem with that, and I really
Right.
think that it's all about your upbringing. Whoever you could be, a Caucasian and a black culture raise you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's all about your upbringing, it's learned behaviors, it's whoever you are around and what experiences you have experienced, that's who you are.
Yes. Yeah, because at the end, because of it's at the end of the day, it's more like if you two can connect, how do you respect each other? Do you support each other? Are you
Yeah,
compatible?
yeah. At the end of the day, it takes two,
It takes two, yes,
and
because
it is wanting it. Both people wanting to the same things. Not all the same things, but it's gonna be different. But if you have the same goals, the same, you know, and you're right, compatibility is a big thing. But everything don't have to be a compatible thing. And that's what's gonna be good in a relationship, because you could bring something I can't bring, or I could bring something you ain't bring.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all about supporting each other, even though you
And
disagree.
respect.
You can disagree, but you can respect each other too at the same time.
Yes.
You can respect each other too at the same time, because
But I'm big on my thing with me too is I'm big on transparency. If
right.
I'm an adult, and
Mm-hmm.
whoever I'm talking to is an adult too, okay?
Yeah.
And if I'm expressing in the beginning, this is how I am, I don't
Mm-hmm.
expect that person to be like that, but I expect them to be kind of similar, because if I'm giving you transparency or just being honest, do that too. It's not hard. And if you, that's the thing about relationships, period, that
Yeah.
I just can't swing with, because if you could, oh, that's me? Oh no, it's like an echo. Hello?
Zacchaeus, are you there?
Hello?
Again, I'm gonna run upstairs to get a charger. This phone is dying.
Oh,
Hello.
I see.
What were
Yeah.
y'all just talking about? I had to step out.
Oh,
Oh no, we was talking about
I forgot where I was.
compatibility. Talking about a connection, having a connection with that person
Oh,
of a different
Yeah,
race, and
yeah.
so
oh,
Honey Tea Travels was talking about decorum and transparency.
yes, I was. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I guess, is about the morals that you have. You know, I'm in my, I'm 45. I don't have a problem saying my age. You know, recently divorced, and you know, I'm that woman that I will fight till I feel like if it's gonna ruin me and bring me to a place where I'm not the person I was, or in a state, then I gotta do what I gotta do for my mental, you know? And you could try and try and try, but two people gotta try. It can't just be you.
Yeah, because if the attempt is one sided, it's not gonna
Oh,
work.
are
Somebody
you
themselves.
hearing stuff? Like, is it me? Am I echoing?
It's either you or Zacchaeus.
Yeah, every time you speak, it's background noise comes in. No, it's Ultram. I think it's yours.
You think it's me?
Yeah, because she's silent, muted, and you're the only one up.
All right, hang on.
Uh-uh.
I think it's both of y'all, maybe. Okay, when y'all are both muted, there's no noise, but now there's noise. Okay, I don't know what's going on.
It gotta be Zacchaeus.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. There's a lot
Zach,
of background noise.
I can hear you.
hey, Zacchaeus, that's you. That's you.
Echo.
So for some reason, let me talk. It's Zacchaeus. So Zacchaeus, are you trying to get on Bluetooth? Or what's going on? You can answer. Yeah, now we can't hear you.
Can you hear me good?
No, you sound far away. Hey, jump out and come back.
Okay.
Maybe you'll fix it. Hey, I had to go in the kitchen. How long was that going on for? The whole time?
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, not the whole time. No, it's just like the past couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Past few minutes. Not the whole time.
Yeah, but that kind of gets in the way of because if it cut into y'all speaking and now it kind of mess with if people could hear y'all and not on
No,
the
we
replay.
heard it. I think they would hear it.
Okay. Hopefully. All right. Yeah, man. I've been
Positive thoughts.
Whew, man, I've been on here 7 hours in. 7 hours in. I gotta eat, so I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You've earned it.
And I still got my part of the show. Oh boy.
You got this.
So gonna be very interesting how I handle that topic. But shout outs to Zacchaeus. Did he request again? Let me see.
Oh.
Zacchaeus, come back, man. But yeah, Zacchaeus' topic is very interesting. Interracial dating is a big thing. And you know, I have my opinions. I'm not against it, no, but I have my experience, and I know that what I'm saying is, if that is something you're going to do, then you have to keep in mind that there are going to be things where race can become a factor, and you have to deal with that. You have to deal with those. You have to deal with those challenges and conflicts. You know, and it has nothing to do with being a racist, right? But I think a lot of us are very ignorant to a lot of cultures because we just don't know certain things, you know? And, you know, beyond the mention earlier about stereotypes. First of all, I don't want no woman dating me because she think I'm a thug.
Right.
I'm not going for that. I hear what he's saying, but I ain't going for that. And secondly, I ain't about to soft shoe dance and tiptoe around it either. just so I could appease you.
I hear that.
Because the moment I raise my voice and get mad at something you do, you ready to call 911 because you think I'm about to do you like. Yeah, we not doing that. Leave me
We ain't doing that for real, cause I don't do cops.
Yeah,
don't do cops.
Well, I'm just making a point, right? I'm just making a point, right? Like okay, because he talked about stereotypes, right? So let's talk about the Arab stereotype real quick. Right?
The who?
Arabs, real quick. I don't know
Okay.
if the algorithm will allow me, right? They have a lot of stereotypes, right?
I don't know.
But
Because I was just saying.
Middle Eastern. I said Arab, but Middle Eastern, right? So they have a lot of stereotypes, especially post 9/11, right? And so, but if people could look past that and date them, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? I just feel like when it comes to us, as black people, there's a lot of, oh, well, we got to configure this and figure this out. But when it's everybody else, it's, oh, yeah. But when it comes to us, it's a lot of, well,
Where that come from? Like just in general or just that's a general statement? Like I don't understand.
You wasn't on earlier.
No.
Okay. So
What?
no, I thought you was. You heard when me and Beyonce was talking, right?
About
when he
what?
mentioned
That part?
when he mentioned racial stereotypes against black people.
I wasn't on that for that part.
Okay, so Beyonce mentioned racial stereotypes against black people.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that when other races look at that, he kind of gives them not so much a pass, but kind of like an understanding. And then I said, well, there's a lot of racial stereotypes against other people, right?
Yeah.
But do they get the same level of grace that we get? No.
Listen, for me, if we ain't clicking, I don't care what race you is.
Yeah, we keep on being arguments over arguments.
It's
Rowing with each other, fussing with each other, fighting with each other.
Listen,
man.
I was married to, I told you before, a Caucasian, okay?
Oh, boy, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he was white.
Spanish, okay? So I could tell you that I'm good for this subject, but we clicked until, we didn't, we went like the things that we were looking for as goals, it was no longer that. It's about, growth. I'm growing. Somebody could grow and somebody could be stagnant. Or both could grow. And we both could grow in separate direction. For me, is not I was telling them a little bit earlier when you was doing whatever you were doing, taking your break, that when I was growing up, I didn't have to deal with all this interracial stuff, like, till I got here. It wasn't about who, color, and this, that, and, it was never about that for me. And every black guy is not a thug. So that is so stereotypical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So true, yeah.
And I ain't never said that, and I ain't never gonna say it.
It's very stereotypical.
We got Caucasians that's thugs too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And honestly, them you could stay away from me with that, with them ones, because it's like I'll just be looking at you like, what are you doing? So,
Yeah.
I just would like, peace, because
Right.
arguing back and forth in what it is right now. Okay, that I can't.
Well,
Understanding, because if we don't understand each other and what we're communicating, right, then it would not lead to arguments. And an argument, it could be turned into a disagreement and talk, just trying to figure out what each other mean.
Yeah.
But both of you would have to have a mutual peaceful mindset, Honey T, because not everyone desires or requires peace.
Right. That's true. But you got, and if it's heated, just pause. And it's hard, it's easier said than done. But the practice I guess we gotta practice it, and I'm trying to practice that. Shoot, it's not easy, but it gotta be. If you into that whoever you with, and you want something with that person, then you should be able to try.
You could try. Yeah, you could try, but if
See,
it's natural, if you're not always, if you can't for, it's gotta be two sides. It gotta
So,
be mutual.
my bad, Zacchaeus. Go ahead.
It's
I'm
okay,
sorry.
man. It's okay, man.
No, I was asking. So, Honey T. So now we're getting into this part of it, right? There's race and then there's culture. So, you said that when you was in the islands, that it wasn't until you got to the States that your experience, I guess, amplified a little bit, right?
When I got to the States is when I saw a lot of racial issues in general. I'm not talking about relationships. I'm talking about in general, the stuff that's going on as America, in the news. That wasn't going on back home. So that kind of hit me hard. Like, what the heck is, like, what's going on? Like, I'm back home with it. I didn't have to deal with this. But now I'm here and now I have to deal with this. And I'm talking about us.
Okay, so Zacchaeus, that speaks to my old point.
Yeah.
Because I myself was in a relationship with a woman who's the same complex, who's black like me, skin wise, but she's not.
Mhm.
But she wasn't born here.
Right,
She was born in the Caribbean.
in Caribbean, yeah.
So then she comes here, and it has almost the same exact thought that Honey T just said. So then now I had to kind of like educate her from the foundational Black American experience,
Right.
as far as the struggles that we go through here. And then that's when she realized, dang, see, where I'm from, I'm named after my island. But when I come here, I'm just black. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye West said, it all falls down. Even if you in a Benz, you still an N-word in a coupe.
Mm-hmm.
So in this country, because this is the only place that I've lived, in this country, the Black experience is the most unique experience on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
On the planet. There are things that you just cannot beat in other people's minds, and you shouldn't care. But you can't. It doesn't matter how you talk, how you walk, how you dress, how you act. You will always be perceived as what they perceive you as.
Exactly.
It is what it is. And yes, that does matter when dating. Because you can be dating a racist. Huh.
Yes, you can.
And you could be dating somebody who only fetishizes you.
Who only what?
Fetishize.
Oh, can I get into that?
Please do.
That could be true, yeah.
Let me get into that a little bit. There was this true story. There was a Caucasian man that married a black woman. But you know what his fantasy was? Fifth? And Honey T?
What?
Don't you know what his fantasy was?
Talk to me.
His fantasy was that his wife, his black wife, he wanted her to be a wench. You know what a wench is, right?
I've heard of that.
The full term, bed wench.
Bed wench, yeah.
Like
Meaning that he gets turned on when he said he uses a whip on her.
Yeah, this goes back to slavery.
Yeah.
Yes, he gets turned on because he gets turned on when he does the other things I can't even mention on here. Other things that black women went through during slavery in Black America and those times. That's when he gets turned off.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't using no whip on me.
He didn't notice.
So when you're talking,
he didn't notice when he married her that he felt this way. But during the bedroom activity, That's when she realized, oh, that's his fantasy.
Mm-mm.
So that's my example of fetishizing. And fetishizing of any kind is not right, because I can want to be with Asian women because I want memoirs of a geisha. That's stereotyping, right? That's stereotyping, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to get with Arab women because over there in those countries, a man could backhand his wife and she can't say nothing. So I could get with Arab women because of that. Because I know she ain't gonna talk back.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
That's fetishizing. You don't want to be with the woman. You want to be with the stereotype of the woman, but you don't want to be with and you want to satisfy your flesh. It has nothing to do with the woman, the person. You disregard all of that. It's all about fantasizing your
flesh.
flesh, satisfying your flesh. Because Zacchaeus, what would have happened to that wife if she would have told that white husband that she doesn't want to have slave play, that she doesn't want to cosplay as Harriet Tubman? What would have happened?
Divorce right away.
Thank you. Let me hit
Or
my
something else.
let me hit my sound effects.
Or something else. Brum, 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 brum.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know. So these are the things that you know that really matter. But I think, like I said, because black people in America have a very different experience from most people. So when we date interracial, it's going to be a different experience when others date interracial. There's going to be certain hurdles and things that are not even going to matter to them. And then also it depends on the kind of black man, black woman you are. Let's get real specific, Zacchaeus. If you are a black man, black woman of knowledge of self,
oh, forget it, brother.
Oh, it's even harder to date outside the race.
Oh, you're not gonna. First of all, you're not gonna do it.
There you go.
You're not gonna do it because if you know if you deep down in your history and know your roots in your history and know who you are. When speaking when you talk about knowledge of self, you're gonna wanna stay to your black woman. You're not gonna wanna do that.
Okay.
When certain topics come up, certain things come up, certain subjects come up, certain things she might feel away when you talk about it. So therefore, as a conscious black man, you're not gonna want to do that. You're not gonna want to date outside your race. You're not gonna do that.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Okay, so in my case, I'm gonna go back again. I went to school. My school taught me U.S. history in the 5th grade, world history, which is America, the globe. Okay, I heard about slavery, but it wasn't shown to me like that. About how I was just living as a kid back home, regular, just living my life. So if I didn't get a history of how bad it was like that until I got here, and I didn't even really get the history until going as an adult in high school, going to college, and at that point, I'm trying to make it. I have a 19-year-old. I'm 19 years old. My first baby. So these things in my mind is not there, and that's the truth. So until I see hearing things in the news and seeing how it is in the South and people and how they these things coming out. So as far as that comment or that statement about if I knew I wouldn't want to be out of the race, I'm gonna say this. I feel I don't see nothing wrong with dating outside your race. And maybe it's because I didn't have that back history. It could be. But that don't mean I love my black people less.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you guys say that I don't love my black people, but I'm black. I know I'm black. I say that every day, and I'm proud.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
But
jump
I
in?
want to be able. I want to be able to find someone, or even if I don't find someone, that's fine too. But it's all about compatibility. We align. God have to be in it too. Because if he's not in the decisions that we make, and that was my problem too in my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Man, TikTok
Chris,
is
are you
messing with
taking?
me, man. I can't
Chris, what's
take
the
it.
matter?
I can't take it. I can't take it.
Hey, what's going on?
So TikTok just gave me a restriction because they're saying that they're giving me a recommended restriction because they're saying that I have unoriginal and reproduced content. It's me on camera. What are y'all talking about?
That's unbelievable.
Let me see if I can appeal this. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what it is, man. I mean, you said it, Honey T. You said there was the compatibility factor. That's yes.
So
Don't.
I
Hey, Jess, what's going on?
Greetings,
Hi.
Jess.
Hello, my
Blessings, just
people.
the romantic
Hello.
blessings. Yes.
So as a Christian, I do believe that God exists outside of race. I also believe, I know, right, as a critical thinker, that race is a social construct that was created for the means of oppression. So that doesn't mean and negate the fact that there are real societal ills and pains because of racial issues. But the reason why I'm saying that is because to the prompt, I don't think that race should matter when choosing a spouse. I believe their opinion about race and race politics should matter when choosing a spouse. Because I was just talking to a person who was a black man who is often on these TikTok streets, right? And he loves Trump, thinks Trump is like the next second coming, thinks Trump is, or T-Rump is so good for America, so good for Christian values and all these things, right? So all skin folk ain't kinfolk, you know?
You got
So
that right.
so just because they're BOK doesn't mean they're gonna have the same Condoleezza Rice kind of energy that we have. Doesn't mean they're gonna have the same kind of revolutionary energy that we're gonna have. And I've met a lot of YT people who are very much, burn it all down, very much like this isn't right. So I do think their mentality around race politics is way more important than their skin, because that doesn't really tell you anything about what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah, and
I
that comes
agree.
with time and vetting the person, you know?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah. And people are just not patient. That's why they just try to go for low hanging fruit. And they make a lot of assumptions about people. But what does assumptions get you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've also
Oh,
met a white person who made fun of George Floyd and try to use it as foreplay. So I'm not saying it don't go the other way. More of my white tea experiences have been they are racist people, and they fetishize me, but
right.
I would never say like, okay, well, that means all whitey people or Asian people are going to treat me this way, because everybody gets a clean slate when they get to me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Um. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a very sticky topic, but it's a good topic as well. Interracial dating, race dating, race marriage. Something that you can elaborate on, but I believe that like I said before, and no, Jesse wasn't here when you only know how you feel when you're with that person, when you're behind closed door and behind the four walls, when you're sitting with that person and that person you can disconnect with is a connection, and and that's what it is, the connection. But
And can we also just say that, like, every BLK person is not going to be able to get married to another BLK person. Like, just numerically, that's going to be impossible.
Well,
So,
yeah. Not everybody's meant to be. Yeah.
no, I'm
It's
just saying,
because
like,
we have different views. Everybody
yeah.
have different. People have different views and different way of thinking.
No, I'm not even talking about that, Zacchaeus. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about simply the numbers of BLK people in America, just in America, right? And then we can talk about the world. There are not enough of legally aged people, BLK people, to go around that will all be able to marry just within our group. And I think if you're a person who is pro marriage like me, trying to be so race rigid, I think goes against the whole idea of quality marriages. Because that's a thing one people cannot change, but it also doesn't tell you about their character. So you're asking people to center something that tells you nothing about how they're going to sustain this long-term relationship. And I would think if we care about quality marriages, we would stop promoting this race rigidity.
Yeah, because it's being restrictive. I get it. Just
Yeah, because you could be with
Yeah.
some. Yeah, because you could be with somebody that you're the same. Like I said before, they're the same race. You came from the same country, the same town, but doesn't mean that you're compatible. Doesn't mean that you're gonna gel with that person. That person you get along with, and that person you're gonna marry and gonna live happily ever after. No.
because if that's all it took, Zacchaeus and Jess, if that's all it took, then there wouldn't be as much interracial dating as there is.
Well, yeah.
Wait, can you explain that to me a little more?
Well,
What you
no,
mean
what
by
I
that?
mean, no, well, to Zacchaeus' point, you can have two people of the same town, a black man and a black woman from the same town, and if the mindset is you only want to date or marry within your own race without vetting other aspects, that's why I made the point that if the whole thing was simply about you being black, you being a BOK man, a BOK woman, that's all that mattered. And if that's all that it took to say, I want to marry you, then there wouldn't be as much interracial dating as there is if those were the main factors. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me.
Yeah, not a
And
problem.
yeah, I feel like when people, because another thing that I feel like people could talk about is like height. I think that's such a dumb thing to center because it tells you nothing about the character this person is going to bring to the relationship, which is actually going to be the thing that you are going to want to commune with. And I think it's the same thing like race. Like it's just so many of these superficial qualities that we put into this non-negotiable box, and then people want to go online and say dating sucks, dating sucks. Maybe you just suck.
Ooh. Oh
Yeah.
wow, yeah.
Because especially when you have certain types of female women who are shorter than the man who is less than 6 feet, but they still want someone who's taller than 6
Oh my
feet.
gosh, right?
Like,
It's the craziest stuff I've seen in my life.
Ain't it? It is.
It's like
Yeah.
social media brain. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I don't understand the logic of that. And that's why there's certain dating shows I don't watch. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh
LML,
yeah,
speak your truth.
What
But
dating
it's,
show?
it's not Arlette fault that don't people come on her show and be acting like that.
What dating show is
Yeah, it
that?
kind of is. If you
Pop the
think about it.
balloon, honey. T.
It's not her.
Pop the
How's it her
balloon?
fault? They have to apply.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
never
don't
heard of
think
that
that
show.
they vet the
You never heard of
contestants
Pop the
well
Balloon?
enough.
No.
Yo, Ray, can you explain to Honey T what Pop the Balloon, the show Pop the Balloon, or no?
Oh yeah. Oh, you never heard of it, Honey T?
No.
Yeah, it's a dating show where you have it's similar to like how the dating game was in the past, but it's a modern day update where you may have a bunch of guys vet the main woman that's coming out, and if you don't like them for whatever reason based on appearance or what they verbalize, you simply pop,
Okay.
and then the interview will say, well, why did you pop the balloon? And a lot of times it may not be anything based on character or any justified reason.
It's just how they look.
They just may pop for the hell of it. And there are men who do that to women too.
So it's basically how they look.
Yeah,
They
how
go
they
by how
look.
they look.
How they look, how they think, it's crazy.
They could, yeah.
They don't really, you see this, and this is the thing, I always say, Zacchaeus and I have this talk that, very few people talk about peace, character, dignity, and all that. Listen to me. Those factors rarely exist in this. I'm not saying they really exist, but yeah, it is comatose. Because a lot of people who are dating in this day and age, they're not really looking for those quality characteristics. They're looking for the bag and other delusional, superficial things.
Exactly. I say that people are in these attraction Olympics. All they care about is attracting. Nobody cares about the skill it takes to be in a long-term relationship. So it's like all these talking points you're getting is just based in attraction alone.
Well, I heard people on Pop the Balloon say this. Like, listen, I like dating dark skinned women that are beautiful and everything like that. They just narrow down to that. I'm like dating my beautiful black women. That's it, man.
Hey, I'm back, y'all, man. My camera's gonna be off for a minute, but I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.
No problem.
I have to go get my son some.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you later.
All right, honey. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
All right.
And that's what it is,
But but Zacchaeus, can I say this? I'm not gonna lie. I don't believe that this whole going off of superficial things is new. I think people try to say the city girls and rap music and social media made this a thing, but we were very transactional for most of human history.
Yeah.
Marriages and relationships was based on what you could do. And you were X'd out if you didn't have the money to pay the bride price or to show that you had the cows that this family would want to give their daughter to. You were X'd out if you in America weren't a land owning man, so you couldn't vote, you in certain property you couldn't own. All these other things. So we've been very transactional for most of human history. And I think when people forget that part of the conversation, they then try to make it like a social media gender issue when really it's really a part of the human programming. And I just think people need to acknowledge that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's just they look at it's all about sometimes it's all about appearance on social media too, because you see some people so like women they like posing and and what's big, the BBLs and all of this stuff, and they want to pick some guys rather date a woman that look like that, and it's like and it's like she got to be a sister, she got to be thinking the thighs, nothing wrong with that. And they looking at that, and they fantasize, and that's the woman they want to be with. They forget about character, forget about how her integrity. It's all about that, and how much views you have, and so on and so on. They look at the wrong things.
Well, I think, if I may say something, referring to Justice's point about things being transactional, I think I'm not saying that the transactional aspect is something new, but I think that it has been more of an emphasized focus due to social media. Even though it was always like that, it's more emphasized more than ever. And the thing is, a lot of people have no shame when it comes to the transactional dating, transactional relationships, or what have you. What you could do for me, what I could do for you. And a lot of it, so I'm just saying, even though it was always like that, I just think that it has been more of an emphasized focus in this modern day.
Yes.
And when you say emphasize, because I agree, if we're meaning the same thing, you just mean it's more on Front Street. Like
Yes,
it's just more times we see it happening, not
that's
that
correct.
it's a new. Okay,
Right, exactly what I mean. Yeah.
okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, to me, that should tell, if people were well read, then they would stop complaining about it. You know, like, I don't complain about people being transactional in relationships because I know that's their lowest human form, is the what can you do for me? Like, and that's why I admire so much when a man has a level of discipline and he defines his masculinity outside of what culture says, because I know that's very hard to do since you have so many stimuli and people around telling you that this is the right way to be a man or this is the right way to be a woman.
Right.
And I kind of think it should be expected that people are going to be transactional. But again, I think people are so desperate to like solve their singleness that they
Yes.
just cannot be alone. Like they
Yeah,
just
yeah, you're
cannot
absolutely
be
right.
single.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so they'll
absolutely
just
right. So
choose
then they'll
anything.
settle for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
that,
then
yeah,
and then
they'll,
be
yeah,
mad.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. They'll settle for anything. It's true.
And
It's
then make
true.
them the problem, but you're the problem because you don't have the backbone and the confidence to stand on your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Even if it means you never have another relationship or marriage again.
Exactly.
Because then you will fall for anything and everything just to say you have somebody. And the sickening part of that, Jess, is how many people actually support that concept.
Not many.
Not a lot. Yeah, not a
Not
lot.
many. Very, very few. Can count them on half a hand. But some people do not like. Some people don't like being alone, man. I mean, it's they'll settle.
And they rather be in chaos than be alone. I mean, hey, if that's how they want to live their life, hey, let them do that.
Yes.
That's all I can say.
Right.
Yes.
Goes back to
Let
the
them
whole
fight for
Jimmy
each other.
Crozier thing.
Yeah.
But that's my thing though. People will think that you're quote unquote alone. Like they'll use those words. And they'll forget that you have community outside of romantic relationships.
Right.
Like you have such a big world. There's so much love and acceptance and peace and intimacy that's available to us outside of romantic relationships. But
That's true.
we have been force fed this idea that we can only get it in this certain package. And then, especially for women, we're often told that our value comes from getting that package. And you only lose value as you age. You're only losing time.
Right.
Oh, whoa.
Hey,
Is
Jess,
that what I sound like? Mm-hmm.
we got to stay on topic, though.
Okay.
All right? We got to stay on topic.
Yeah, we got to stay on topic. Interracial and race. Would you marry a race would you be with another race, date another race, and what does that mean to you? You know, what does that mean to you to date somebody else of another race? Again, that's a topic. Yeah.
Are you asking me?
Oh well. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. I'm the host. Oh yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jess. You can answer that. I think you already answered it before earlier. You had an answer for that before earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I already answered that, you can skip me, go to Golden.
Yeah.
Good evening, Golden.
Good evening, Golden. Good evening.
Hey y'all.
Yeah. The question is what do you feel about dating someone of another race? That's a question.
So I'm a firm believer of dating within my race.
Okay.
Only because I personally feel like I love Black men and I cherish Black men.
Mhm.
And I personally feel like when it comes to, I feel like with me, it's like I just love Black men. I think no other race gets me attractive or I'm physically attracted to another race. Like, I don't like I'm being so serious. Like I can look at I can say I could look at a Latino man and he could be the most handsomest man. And I just would never be like attracted because it's like I love black men. I think that
Okay.
because in my household, mind you, all the men are black, and I just love my black men. Like I wanna, and I'm a black woman. I just love my black men. Y'all are kings. Y'all just everything. Like I don't
Okay.
know. There's no
Respect it.
words to
Respect it.
describe.
Yeah.
Like, huh? Go ahead.
Definitely respect it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
respect that a whole lot. A whole lot. We appreciate that for sure. For sure. Yeah. We definitely
Yeah.
appreciate that because we need to love ourselves, but we also need to love from our black women too. We need to love ourselves too, but we also need to love from our black women too. So that's definitely respected. Really appreciate you for saying that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when I see a YT woman with a black man, I always question the black man intent and the YT woman intent. Only because I think that when it comes to my question I was asked to YT, the question I always have in my mind is to that YT woman is what made this black man
Go ahead. It's good. It's a good topic. Go ahead.
You there, Golden?
Golden?
Something happened.
Yeah. Something happened. Yeah. And you know what it is? Yeah, I think it's is, is it is the game is it
I think it's over. That are from what I understand, Spain won.
it's only game one, right? Yeah,
Spain
Spain.
won. Spain.
Woo!
yeah, we voting for Spain, man, for sure.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, we voting for Spain for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they won. They won.
Good. We voting for Spain for sure. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, my Wi-Fi be tripping.
Okay, we hear you, Golden.
We hear you, Golden. Yeah,
So
for sure.
yes, so what I
Yeah.
was saying is I always question the black men and the white YT women intent on dating, only
Yeah.
because when it comes to yes, even though they in love with each other, but what is the intent behind that love? Because some YT women fetishize on black men sexually, and then the YT man thinking it's love and stuff like that. And then as soon as they get into an argument or as soon as they get fighting, she down to put you behind bars or claim,
That's
or
happened before. That's
yeah,
happened.
like claim any type of claim
That's
against
happened
cops.
before. Yeah.
She used that law against you, and that's why I
Big
always
time.
say like you have to be careful you have to be careful who you date when it comes to dating outside your race. It's because
Yes,
at the end of the day is
absolutely.
you do not know their intent X, Y, and Z. So then the other thing I want to touch on is when I do see a black man date a YT woman, um, I always say he lost love for black women, only because I personally feel like I personally feel like there's some type of trauma he probably went through with his mother or a woman in his family, to where he had to dilute from dating black women to go to YT women, or it had like an experience that made him like, you know what, I just can't date this black woman because after that experience, he gonna generalize all black women and say, you know what? Because she did that, all I'm gonna do is let me go to my T woman. And then white proximity, some of them who want to get to the top, they tend to conform to being to white proximity, close to white proximity. So they date to really get to the top. But yeah, but I'm not saying all. I'm gonna just say some.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not saying all. I'm gonna just say some. But I
Yeah.
just want my son to date within the race only because black queens do the best. Like we do the best, don't you? We do the
Yes, for
best.
sure. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yes. And not all black women are alike. Every I've met black women that are very prestigious. They have the dignity. They have there's not everyone. You can't put everyone in a. And just the same way you can't put all black men in one basket. You can't put all black women in one basket. You can't do that. It's not fair. You can't do it. Um, and you just have to be with whoever you connect with, whoever you feel more comfortable with and connect with. Compatibility factor, whoever you feel connected with. That's what really matters a lot too. Yes, ultimately you want to, because ultimately first you want to date a black woman. Yeah, it's more recommended, but they have some black men that I've met black men that say, nah, they just don't date black women at all. And it's like, because sometimes it's maybe because they feel like, well, they connect with that white tea more, more connection, and sometimes they're not, and sometimes I have to say this too. Sometimes the brother's not conscious. He's not fully conscious. I mean, yeah, they know the history, but there have some people. They have some of us that are not really conscious of who we are, and what we don't have self pride of who we are, and we do, and some of them do stand on the fact of, yeah, let's get rid of Black history. And some brothers be like, yeah, maybe we should get rid of it because we're all Americans. So they're not. So they have some brothers that are not really. They have no. They don't have knowledge of self. They're not. They don't have. They don't take pride on who they are, and that's the truth. And this is why they date who they date sometimes, because not all, but some, they're not proud of who they are. And when situations go down, situations happen, certain topics come up, they keep silent. They keep silent because they're not proud of who they are. They don't really stand up for who they are. So the scientists of Florida can say, I'm gonna get rid of Black history. They will keep silent and they won't have an opinion on it because they're not proud of who they are. And that's a fact. They have some brothers, they have brothers like that too, that I've personally met, and that's the truth. Yeah.
I just want to say that is the question is the intent on, if the intent, I guess I would say the intent was my dance database, because the question is does that YT woman support the community, support the Black community? Does that YT woman is a part of, is she gonna stand with us when it comes down to movement, the marches, and fighting against, the legislation of law? That was my intent, because at the end of the day is you can love that person all you want, but they intent may not be for the love of you, or may not be for the love. They may be for the love for, not the love of you, but for the love of what you got in your body. That's why it's like I'm really like. That's why I'm like, when it comes to like dating YT men, I don't talk to YT men. I don't find them attractive, none of that, because I already know
Okay.
is I have to beat around certain conversations, such as Black Lives Matter, or reparation, because so I'm gonna say majority of them. I'm gonna say majority of them, because we're not gonna sit up here and lie and say some of them. Majority of them, there's probably some of them, but majority of them do not believe in reparations for us. Do not, and we had to. That's the real truth of it all. Because as soon as, listen, they could love you and like what they want, but once you start having them conversations on racism, and blacks being hurt and stuff, and the issues on Black people, that's when they want to argue, and that's when the connection gets diluted between y'all two. Because if you cannot have conversations like that with your partner who's out, if you can't have conversation with your partner outside your race, especially a YT person, that person is not for you. Listen, I'm big on communication. I'm big on having alignment of morals, and having alignment on discussions, and having intellectual discussions. I am a Black activist, so I let my people down. And if a YT man can't understand or can't fathom the history of my people, I don't want to talk to him. Because at the end of the day is there's no bigger conversation that I don't want to have with, how I say it. There's that conversation right there is something really important to me, because at the end of the day is like any boyfriend I got, any Black boyfriend I got, we always talk about how to better, Black Americans and stuff like that, X, Y, Z.
Right.
But I just don't feel confident dating a YT person, because I already know their intellect is not going to align with the conversation that's gonna be at hand when it comes to Black Lives Matter. And I already know I'm not gonna put myself through that type of turmoil because if they don't believe in it, why would I waste my time? Like that's just the reality of it. And I think that we have to start dating intentionally with people who for our people, not for people who just love us for us. I'm really big on that.
So I just want to say that I do think that when I hear people say things like I could never be attracted to another race of people, it's always based on an assumption about how they will receive us. And so there's already this blockage to connection that's there. So the white tea person or the Asian person or the Hispanic person doesn't even have a chance to show that they're for the cause, because we will get in a crowd and say, well, I'm just going to assume that they don't believe in Black Lives Matter. I'm just going to assume that they don't believe in this. And I just think, again, that's the same label, that's the same kind of race rigidity that happens on the opposite side. Like when it was illegal to intermarry, that level of race rigidity was bad because the source of it, the soul of it was, we think BLK people are nasty. And then I believe when BLK people have that same race rigidity, we do it on the other side where we're like, well, they're nasty. And I don't think that again creates for community, because I do believe that God exists outside of race. And I think that we have to give people their individual due to ask them what they believe, instead of just assuming that because they're white tea or because they're this, that they are going to feel this kind of way, or because they're white tea, they're not going to know why I have to have a silk pillowcase, right? How do you know what they know? And I'm just saying, and even then, I think that's could be fun to explore small things like that. But obviously, trying to get them to believe something fundamental about needs, right, and where money should be going to needs and to the poor people of the community. Obviously, I'm not saying that's something that you should be going back and forth with, but other stuff, I just think we write people off too soon.
So can I please respond to that? Because I'm
Go
gonna
right
say this,
ahead.
love,
Go right ahead.
and
Go. Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna say this, love. Just to me, it sounds like you believe in Dana Saja race. Love that for you. Cool. I just literally said this. I'm a Black activist, and I help a lot of women, and I help a lot of Black men who especially been exonerated from the system, love. Until you step out in the field and talk to the mothers who cry every day on the news because their son was falsely accused, until you go outside and see the broken down, abandoned buildings where our Black children are walking outside with no shoes, until you see the lack of healthcare services, until you see our neighborhoods always being raided by police, until you see the government poisoning our system, poisoning our communities with, casinos and alcohol, and putting prisons and jails in it, then we can have sit down and talk. Number two is that's completely different. I literally told you I literally said I like to have intellectual conversation. I'm a Black activist. So any Black men who I meet, we sit down, we have conversations about bettering the community, love. Why would I sit down with a YT person who may not believe in what I believe in, right? It's because at the end of the day is, right? Mind you, at the end of the day is those conversations matter when it comes to my dating life. It may not be important to you, but that's the fundamental value that I hold of myself, is having intellectual conversations on bettering my community, love.
Mhm.
And I already know that YT people, and mind you, I'm gonna say this. I already know that most of them is not gonna believe in reparations or believe in paying us back, love. Because I have heard it once again. I have said this. A YT person can say they love you every single day, love, and you can sit down with them, and as soon as that reparations conversation hit, or as soon as that Black Lives Matter hit, or as soon as the government owes us this, it's not gonna go well, love. And I talk to a
Me and Fifth
liberal.
had that conversation. That's true.
Right. Listen, Jess, I'm telling you the real. I have talked to liberal YT people who was for rights, but then won't give us rights. And I talked to conservative YT people who wasn't even for rights, but for their own rights. You have to understand, love, is when you date outside your race, those questions matter because you're gonna have kids who are black, and you want to make sure your spouse is for the cause as well. For the safety of your kids, because you're gonna have black kids. I want my son or my daughter to understand that racism is very important. Just because you don't have those questions, yeah. Just because you don't ask those questions, have those conversations, does not mean they're not important. Number two is you cannot put racism with my conversation to saying, oh, if we're assuming or X, Y, Z. I'm not assuming nothing because I have seen. Would have any white person said yes for reparations? Would have any white person walk with us to the movement of Black Lives Matter? Would have any white person gives a formal fucking apology? Would have any white fucking person
Language.
I'm sorry, Fizz.
Golden.
I'm sorry, Fizz.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Fizz. Listen.
But if I
I'm
can
serious.
respond when you're
Wait,
done,
hold on,
please.
love. Hold on. I'm at the land. Would have any white person have really said they for the cause and really want reparations for us? Until you give me until you give me 5 names, 2026, and say, you know what, then we get in the conversation. Until then we can't. At the end of the day, it's given like you're trying to basically say that I'm I'm stereotyping the same way they stereotype of me. No, because they used to call us monkeys. They used to exaggerate our looks and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, those conversations definitely matter when it comes to dating somebody YT. I have such mothers who literally cry for their son and their daughter because the system was against them due to them having a YT person, love. At the end, this has happened, and I feel like you're trying to basically.
Can I speak now? Can I speak
Go
now?
ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Golden. You gotta. Yeah, go ahead, Jess. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Again, there was a lot of assumptions made about what I believe, and that's all I'm saying is that we have these very emotional responses because of our assumptions of other people. We just saw that Golden assumed that I'm not for black liberation, that I'm not in the impoverished communities as well, thinking about education and creating programs, which I am. Right. I'm also in these communities looking at how they're impoverished and how property taxes are not being adequately funded to our schools. So if anybody is pro-black, it's me. And I also believe that when you marginalize people, that when you stereotype people, you are removing their humanity. And I think that's a huge problem. I think any race rigidity is a huge problem. Though I don't have the exact names of these 5 YT people who were part of BLK movements, I do know of YT people because I was with them. Right. I didn't get their names. I didn't get their Instagrams, but I walked with them in these protests, especially in the height of the BLM movement. So again, because I know that there are YT people who exist, and also I think it's kind of myopic for us to just center YT people as if that's the only other race people can date. Like, of course, there may be a very big foundational disagreement between a BLK person and a YT person, but that disagreement or foundational disagreement can get smaller when you go to a Latino person, right, who may have a BLK grandmother, or a Asian person who may have come from another kind of family or who is well read. All I'm saying is we cannot stereotype people. And I think that we allow ourselves to get incredibly emotional about this because we are trying to protect ourselves from what we deem is a very dangerous alternative, which is the Emmett Till situations, which is the Nolan Wells situations, which is people being, strange fruit from trees, right? And that can be acknowledged that is a real danger without also stereotyping that every non-BLK person is going to feel that way. And all I'm saying is test the fruits of people, like the Bible says, test their fruits. And if you truly care about the progression of marriage, then you will also, not you specifically, Golden, but if you care, a general person cares about the progression of quality marriages, then you cannot also promote race rigidity.
I love you.
Okay, can I speak to that? And after this, I don't want to speak. I don't want to go back and forth because I said what I said. She said what she said. There's no going back and forth. Like I said again, I did not assume nothing. I did not assume nothing. Right? Because I literally told you I have talked to thousands of white liberals, people, thousands, sweetheart. I have talked to thousands of white liberal YT people who were liberal, and I had conversations with them. And I have also talked to conservative YT people. Love, it's not me assuming love. And on top of that, like you said, you couldn't even name the 5 or 10 YT people that want to fight for us because right now, we're still being oppressed. And guess what? Guess what? Who in yeah? Who in I'm sorry, let me call myself that. Who in the United States right now? YT people. So why haven't the president, why haven't why haven't the president or the government has sat down and said, right, the YT people that actually want the government and a YT person that actually want who is the president, mind you. We had thousands of YT presidents that could have said, you know what, I'm gonna give Black Americans their reparations. Right? They never gave us our reparations, but they gave different other cultures their reparations, love. And guess what? Still today
That's a fact. That's a
right.
fact.
Thank you so much.
That's a
Jack. On
fact.
top
Yeah.
of that, it's been thousands of years, and we still want reparations, and we're still fighting for it. So now, one YT person have sat down with us, or now one YT person has said, you know what? I'm going to talk with the government. Now, one YT person has said, hey, Black Americans need reparations. Why? Because they don't give a fuck about us. Just because somebody can look at you in your eyes and
Golden
shake your
language.
Golden,
listen,
you passionate, but just be careful, okay?
I'm sorry, Fitz. Just because somebody could look you in your eyes, Jess, and say they care for you, does not mean that they for the cause, love. And that's the problem. I'm all about social awareness for our Black young men and our Black young women. Because multiple times we have seen many cases where YT people have hurt us, where YT people have used the system against us, love. What you're doing is you're basically making an excuse, and you're basically making an excuse for their actions, saying, well, we can't marginalize and stereotype. It's called being social aware, love. Why would I sit out here and send my son a little YT woman just for them to get hurt? And tell me, you know what? They not all the same. You don't know their intent, love. It's all about their intent and their mentality, love. And majority of them don't really have, majority of them are not for the cause. And not for helping our Black men, not in love with our Black men, not in love with our Black women. I didn't say all, love, and I said majority. Now, there are probably some YT people that's probably for the cause, but we still have sundown towns. We still have legislation laws that's against us. We still have our young Black men are still exonerated. Our young Black men are still in prisons and stuff like that. Who actually, fun fact, it was more Black men that make up the prison system.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Due to the red line, due
That's
to the
not.
historic
That's
figures. So
actually
we're not
not
going to.
true.
That's
Hold
not
on.
true at all.
Hold on.
60 to 70% of men in the prison population, and men and women, is 60 to 70% are white and Hispanic.
Wait, Terry, hold
That's
on.
not true stats.
Hold
That's
on.
not true stats.
That's true stats.
Terry, hold
Okay.
on 1 second. Hold on.
Almost
Where my
60
tab
to
at? Where my tab
70%
at?
of
Because
the
you're
prison
lying.
All right,
You're lying.
Terry, hold on 1
are
second.
white and Hispanic, men and women.
What's that?
Hold on, wait, stop. Everyone stop. Terry on. Before you talk, hold on, man. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead and finish Golden, and then I gotta get back. We have to get back to the broader topic of things, because now we're in it, but we're kind of like going other places. So let's
Okay.
let's kind of just keep it where it's at, and then I'll let Terry on get in on the conversation. Go ahead, Golden.
Okay, I'm about to learn here. Like I said before, is the population in jails and prison make up majority of Black men. Do your research, love, and whatever source you're using, probably Google that's generated. You're probably using a unreliable source and applying that. I'm not going to argue that with stats, because I know stats and really understand stats, that people like to basically manipulate stats in their own narrative. So I can, like I said again, at the end of the day is while you let me cut that. At the end of the day is while you saying this and that, listen, that all sound well and dandy, but we have to make our young kids socially aware of people who have negative mentality against our people. And at the end of the day, it's not me stereotyping or me, being racist and X, Y, and Z. It's me speaking the truth. speaking the truth and being real and having that social awareness, because you don't know, just because this person could say they love you and love you so much does not mean they want to fight for our rights and stuff like that. And I'm big on the rights of Black people, and I'm really big on the fighting for the cause of our people. So you can sit here with that mentality, and you can have that mentality all you want, and that's your perception. But moving forward, I'm not going back and forth with you.
It's on me.
Oh, okay. You to be fair, you could reply to her stats because you're putting them in the chat, and I happen to know a thing or two as well. You can respond to that, but after you respond to that, we got to get you to answer the prompt, which is, should race matter when choosing a spouse? Okay, go ahead, Terrio.
First off, I'm gonna respect your panel, so I'm gonna start with that, right? So it says, should race matter when choosing a spouse? I honestly think that it should matter, but at the same time, like, I think about a lot of men out here that, like, cause I see a lot of Black men out here, right? They are deemed less attractive to most Black women, right? So if you're a Black man and you're deemed less attractive, you don't have the money, you might not be as tall, you might not be in shape, you might just be an ugly ass, lame ass Black nigga, right? And most Black women don't think
No
that you're.
cussing, Terrion.
Yeah, the language, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm speaking facts. So
Yeah,
my
but you
bad.
still got to watch the language, otherwise I'm gonna kick you out of here.
I did not mean to disrespect your panel.
Okay,
bro.
go ahead, Terrio. Go ahead.
Everybody operate panels at different rates. Your panel is not how everybody else panel out here is operating, right? So, like I said, if a man is out here trying to date women, right, and he's a Black man, he's deemed less attractive to most Black women, and he comes across a white woman or Asian woman or Hispanic or whatever, and they actually accept him and they love him and they care about him, why are you down talking that man for finding love in his life? That does not make sense to me. That literally does not make sense to me. Like, I honestly don't get it. Like, the way that most of y'all Black women think, right? Y'all think that we're out here just dating white women and Hispanic women and all this stuff. No, 80+% of Black men are dating or married to Black women.
True.
So your stats are actually non-existent. They mean nothing. So you get on the internet crying.
But what stats I brought up?
Shut up. It's not your turn to speak.
Hey, hold on.
Can you please give me the source?
Wait,
Can you please give me the
hold
source?
on. Let's all respect each other. You ain't got to tell her that, man. She's gonna fall back, so you can finish. Go ahead.
I don't do this shit, bro.
Kick him out.
Because you got no stat, and you got no stat. Give me the source of your
Okay,
stat.
so the problem
All right,
is,
before everyone starts talking. All right, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, now I let this brother on the show months ago, and he got kicked for that same reason. This is when I was doing live with Mr. Yard, right? And I told him no cussing. He kept cussing. He kept cussing. You know, he said, well, other people cuss on other panels. So what? Go over there. You know what I'm saying? So
You did the right thing, Fifth.
It is what it is, man. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about this panel, right? Let me tell you something about me. I promote, especially as a Black man, I am a dignified Black man. I promote dignified culture. We are going to be dignified Black people up here.
Yes.
We're going to have respect for each other. We're going to have decorum. We're going to have patience. And we're going to have understanding. Otherwise, you don't belong here. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. Okay? But you're coming up here, your mouth is foul. Like, come on, son. Listen, TikTok about to show y'all better than I could tell you. All of y'all that can't control your mouth, TikTok going end all of that. I'm telling you. TikTok rules are getting stricter and stricter on language. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you're not going to take my advice, then what's going to happen is TikTok is going to show you how they do things. Watch. The fun playtime is over. When China ran it, there was a lot of things you could do. I get it. You could say all kind of wild stuff. You could. Those days are over.
People getting banned for less.
For less.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
Those days are over, man. Playtime is over.
So I did want to say, but I guess she's gone now. Maybe she'll come back. So I'll just wait till she comes back then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's all Wusa. Woo.
A Wusa moment, huh?
Whoa, that got hot.
Yes, it did.
I'm like,
Yes,
is it just my tone? Because I thought I was being pretty sweet today.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with you. This is a discussion that can only be had by mature people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Without getting overly personal. I get it. You know, we could have these conversations, but we have to have them in an adult way. You know, and like I said, we could have a difference in opinion. It's okay to have a difference in opinion. You can have your position and stand on your position till the birds come back home. I have no problem with that. But I respect it on this panel. I respect the difference of opinion, even from me. I don't nail it to the cross all day. If somebody don't think what I think, they don't think what I think, and it is what it is.
It's what it is. Yeah.
You know,
right.
As a matter of fact, I haven't talked in a minute, right? Because I had to take a break, and I've been up here for 8 hours. Okay,
Long time.
So I said a little bit in the beginning before Jess came up, you know, and then now we're gonna get right on with the conversation. Dude, like he hurt the energy, man, but he can't come up here like that, man. And you know what? And I asked him to like chill with the language, and then he gonna give me something about, well, you know, other people and other care about all that.
Right, then they go over there then. Yeah.
You know, and let me tell you something. I love my people, man. Loving your people takes some patience. I had some patience with them, but at some point I have to lead by an example that this is not how we want to conduct ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Golden's back. Jess wanted to talk to her. Go ahead, Jess. I'm muting up.
Okay, all I wanted to say was what Terrion was going to say was that numerically, obviously white people make up more of the actual physical bodies in the prison system. But to your point, Golden, based on our population size, BLK people are overrepresented, which is clearly from over-policing in the communities, not adequate social programs to stop people and to intervene before they go to prisons. But that's what really Terrion was trying to say, is that we don't make up the most amount of people in prisons. It's just based on our population. We are overrepresented via our population size.
But we still make up the jails and prison at the end of the day is because at the end of the day is, listen, I hear what you're saying, but we still make up the populations in prison and jail in different states. You have to understand that. So when you sit back and do your data and you really look at the stats and stuff like that, you're gonna see for example, you're gonna see probably 60% Black Americans, and you're gonna see 10% white. They're gonna see 5 XYZ, because you still have to understand that we are, like you just said it, we are underrepresented. On top of that, we are over policed. And listen, in predominantly Black communities, you're gonna see a cop car, you're gonna see a precinct, you're gonna see a liquor store, alcohol store. We make up majority of the prisons and jail system. At the end of the day, so no matter how he said it, no matter how he broke it down, he basically said that we don't, love. He didn't say that we do. He said that we don't make up the population in each of the prisons. And I asked him what stats he got that from. And I did look at the stat, and that is not I guess that is not a real reliable source. The FBI unit list is not a real data data source. You have to go to the FBI. You have to go to the FBI real source. That is a off-brand source. Somebody uses, somebody basically uses to like mimic. It's like a junk. How do I say it? A junk website where false data be at. But what I'm trying to say is we do make up we do make up the population in jails and prison systems. Period, point blank. You're saying the physical body and stuff like that. You're saying the physical body of white tea people. No, first you said, the physical body of white tea people make up the prison systems, right? And then you also said the full population of jails make up the black people. Sweetheart, the data, you are confusing those two. You are confusing those two, love. It's either we don't, either we do. It's not, no, it can't be both or the other.
But Golden,
So
did you hear what I said? Majority? Did you hear that?
no, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear what you didn't say that. You did
I
not say
did
that.
though. So let me repeat that
So
because
yeah,
you're
please
you're
do, please.
responding.
What's all the
So
energy? Go
what
ahead.
I'm saying is that you will find more white tea people in prison, just in
Oh my
general in America. But
You're
what you will
contradicting
find,
yourself. I don't want to hear what you
No,
gotta say.
Golden. Hold on now. Let's. I just got up here and said what I said, so let's not do that.
I'm sorry,
No,
sir.
it's okay. Let Jess finish. Let her finish it, and you'll get your turn again. Go ahead, Jess.
it's actually not okay because I don't think adults have to be told that constantly. But I would just say this: anybody can find this out from any .gov site, right? Any reputable site. YT people make up most of the prison population by number, right? There will be more YT people in prison. The problem is that based on our BLK population size, we are overrepresented based on population size. So that's very different than saying BLK people make up the majority of the prison population. That's not true. BLK people make up a majority based on their population size. We should not have as many people in the prison system based on our population, but we have more, which means we are going to prison at a higher rate than other people who have larger population sizes. And that is a problem because of over policing, of not having social programs and things like that. But we have to be mindful when we say that BLK people make up a majority of the prison population, because that is not true. We make up more based on our population size. Like we're overrepresented based on population size.
Sweetheart. Listen, sweetheart. You're basically, listen. When you say population size, love, and you say you're basically contradicting yourself again, because you cannot sit here and say YT people make up more, but then based on our population size, we make up more, love. You're not understanding.
Okay, hold on. Let me. Okay. There's more white tea people in the nation. Okay. There's 13% of black Americans, according to the census, right? What's being said is, being that white tea or what? They're like in the high 70s of percentage of America. What's their population in America, Jess?
I believe they're in the 70s.
Okay.
But I can check that.
Okay, they're in the 70s, right? So being that they're in the 70s, white tea people would be a more homogenous culture in America. Just like in China, there's a whole bunch of there's Chinese people there. So the majority of Chinese people in China are going to be in prison because that's the majority of the country. I mean, the continent, right? So, but because we are 13% of the nation, and the Hispanic community is roughly what? They're like
20.5 for the
okay.
census.
So overly represented just means out of our population, there's a lot of us there when it should be a lot less because we're a lot less of the population. So in terms of actual numbers per prisoner, because when people get arrested and go to prison, there's a number system. They all get numbers. So they're able to make the stat of how many white men, white women, or whatever are incarcerated, just like they're able to number that with us. Okay, so those reports are usually reported by a number of things. You have the wardens in the prison, you have the courts, you have all of that, the sentencing. There's so many things that go into a play on how they get the numbers about prisoners. With that being said, okay, because we've been talking about this for almost an hour, and we don't went so far away from the topic that I don't even remember Zacchaeus' question that he had. So
I don't. I just want to say this is when it comes to the population, right? Yes, there are more white people in America, but black people in America have a larger share. Black people, how do I say this? Black people in America, right, have black people in America, right, have make up more majority of the justice prison system. Why? Because she literally just said what I just said, but she switched. She basically said that white people make up the prison system more, but black people are underrepresented. So you're basically saying that even
She
though
said over. She said overrepresentative. She
right, but
said
they under.
overrepresented.
But I'm
Based
saying
on their population
no,
size.
love. That's not true though. That's what you're getting is
All
they
right,
underrepresented, love.
I'm burying this. I'm burying
Thank
this
you.
Please, please, because she don't know what she's talking
Please,
about.
Fifth.
no,
Please, when she say, "Oh,
no, I'm
how we
burying this. I'm
overrepresented?"
burying this conversation because
Okay, fair.
like where are we going? Where are we
Right,
going with this? Is
because
this is a game of tennis. You throw the ball over there, you throw the ball back. You throw the ball over there, you throw the ball back. This is not getting anywhere. The
because
conversation is, should race matter when choosing a spouse? You said Golden. No, you said Golden. I have to be careful about the other thing because there are other issues that the other race is not really adapted to and may not understand me like the black man would. Cool. Let's stay there. Let's stay right there because
you know what, we should stay there. Go
yeah,
ahead.
let's stay
We
there.
should stay there because
No, hold
go
on,
ahead.
hold on. We're gonna stay there because before you came up, Golden, I said a lot of the things that you said. I said that the Black American experience, the foundational Black American experience in America, and Black people who grew up in this country, is a very unique experience. So when we date interracial, it's very different from other non-blacks who date interracial. It's a very different experience. There are people from many different cultures that will tell you it's very easy for them to date interracial, but they're not black, so they can't relate to what's going on here. I said when you marry someone, you date someone and marry someone, you date and marry not just a person but their culture, and you date their struggle. Okay? And you said earlier, which I'm glad you said it, you said if there's a particular cause going on, you need to know where the other person stands. I would say even within our race, we got to do that too. And I'll get to Jess's point because Jess said that she met someone who's a hardcore Trump fan. Black.
See, I knew it.
Who was black, Golden?
No, I
Listen to
knew it,
what he
Jess.
said.
I already knew. I felt the energy to the phone because she said I already felt the energy to the phone. Once she said white people make a more majority of the jails, I already knew it.
Did you hear that?
Wait, Golden. You responded without even hearing. I said I said that Jess had a conversation with a black man or a black woman who's a hardcore Trump supporter to the point where they didn't even really connect with the struggle like that, or at least try not to. And what I'm saying is, what we're talking about, what me and you were talking about, Golden, because me and Zacchaeus talked about knowledge of self. You're talking about that too. Okay? And what I'm saying is, you even have to do that with other black people, because I've been with black women who all right, let me say this the right way because I'm on air. In my past, I have come across other black women.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Who think that black people who not complain about the struggle, but at least teach about the struggle and black history are black people who are not trying to move forward. I don't think that's the case, but that is something that she believes. And when I started talking about a black cause, she hit me with you talking that back to Africa stuff, which I wasn't, So what I'm saying is even within our people, you have to see what their ideology and what they think and how they process race relations, even if they look just like you and share your complexion. Because what I said to Zacchaeus was there's black people, there's black Americans, there's a black diaspora. You may get with someone who's African who doesn't support reparations because he wouldn't get it anyway. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, and I ain't gonna lie. I do want to say this fifth is you're right about that. But at the end of the day, is like this. Even though the difference is between that mentality and the YT mentality is there's some YT mentality. Okay, some YT people who don't agree with reparations, they know the historical context behind it, but they don't want to support it because they, they're still stuck in their ways of racism. And then there's some, black people who just don't know the don't know racism and don't because for example, if somebody came over here from Africa, right? They listen. All they know is the whitewashed history of America. So their mind gonna be conformed to the whitewashed history until somebody like Golden or you or the curious teach them we need operations and we fight for it. And they may agree, may change their mind. But you cannot change somebody's mind who ancestors was hurting us. You cannot do that because their mind already conformed. Once somebody hit a certain age, you can't change their mind because they're way stuck in their ways. Period point blank. It's so
It's their experience.
right, and right. So I don't force somebody from Africa who don't know. I don't force somebody from Haiti who 80s don't know because they've been whitewashed too. A black person who, for example, I can understand a black person who been here, who probably read all the books about racism and they still want to conform to the idea. Well, I'm anti-black. But if somebody came out, came from Africa, don't know, they just trying to fit in, X, Y, Z, and they probably don't know how to socialize or don't have the right people around them. Of course, their brain going to be altered in a way where they're not going to like us because the book said not to like us. But I don't know Jess being or Jess boyfriend. I don't know him like that, so I'm not gonna judge him. But I will say that if he vote for Trump and he know what Trump is about, and he been in America probably for years, then I can fault him because Trump. Trump. No, I'm being so serious because Trump mentality is racist, and for him to vote for that, it's like kind of side eyeing, what made you want him if you know he don't, if you know he's anti-black? That's kind of weird.
Golden, this person is not just his boyfriend. I said she had a conversation with another black person who sounded who was very well spoken, but he was a big Trump fan, and she said she got to really see what his real ideology and thoughts were. This is not a boyfriend. Jess does not have a boyfriend, so no. She as a matter of fact, Jess is a. Never mind. I won't do that. But the thing is that
You funny.
yeah. But the thing is, Golden. So here's the thing, right? There's a Caribbean Council for anybody from the Caribbean getting reparations, right? It's called CARICOM, right? And that consists of all the Caribbean islands and some of the parts of the top part of South America, right? Those places that had slavery. So also Brazil's included in that as well, right?
Yes.
So as far as the reparations is tied to a slave ship. So let's just say a slave ship brought people somewhere, and when they got there, they weren't in antebellum slavery. They still owe reparations. Okay. Now the thing is, Black Americans got excluded from CARICOM because Black Americans went to the CARICOM Council and said, "Well, we'll owe reparations from the same people who owe you. Can we get in?" CARICOM said no.
Right.
So that's why Black people in America said, "Okay, well, we'll just fight for reparations ourselves." You know what I'm saying? In America, there's a lot of Black people who look like us that are from other parts of the world that would not be entitled to reparations. So what I notice is those Black people speak against reparations, and this is why you have to ask this question. And I do it all the time, not all the time, but sometimes. Where are you from? Number one. Where your parents from? Number two. Where your grandparents from? Number three. Usually that's where I get my answer.
Yeah, coming.
Okay? Because sometimes that lets you know exactly where some people stand. Now if you're an ally to the cause, you're an ally to the cause, and I respect that. That's my brother. You an ally to me, you my brother. You my sister. So, there's that.
Right, fight the power, like fight the power, and fight the power. And my question to Jess is, you know what? I totally understand where you're coming from because I think I think due to the slave trade, I think that's why we having arguments now about who was black and what should we be called and XYZ because we've been classified as so many different things, and I feel like our culture has part of some of us have been diluted from our culture. Some of us we don't even know where we came from. Some of us don't know we know where we started from. Some are lost. That's why we have some black people are anti-black because they are lost on who they is. And Zacharias, I'm sorry, like what's your name? Zach? I'm calling you Zach.
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus, yeah.
Zacchaeus. Okay. Zacchaeus was like no, I'm being serious. So Zacchaeus, right?
Zacchaeus. Say it this way, Golden, slowly. Zach and
Right.
then Kias.
Zach and then Key. Okay, Zacchaeus. So
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus,
There we go.
right?
Yeah.
Zacchaeus basically said that we have a loss of identity, and I always say this: as Black people, there's some Black people who don't know who they are,
It's true.
and
You're
they
right.
don't know where they come from. For
They
me, for
don't.
example, I don't know where I come from, and I'm still asking questions like, who my great grandfather and X, Y, and Z, because my family we don't know where we come from, and that's what's very important for us Black people that we have to really do our genealogy, and then we have to. What book is
I
that?
want you to read this book. It's called From Babylon to Timbuktu. This basically goes more into the deep and depth history of black people who, me and you, right? And where our people come from and how we got here to this nation. It goes all the way back to the tribes. Okay, that is from, the book is called From Babylon to Timbuktu. It is a beautiful book. I love it. I love it. Also another one. They came before Columbus.
Not a powerful book. Yeah.
The Color of Law is also a great book.
Well, I'm gonna read those and I'm gonna check them out and everything. But I don't know why you looking the question, Jess, because I asked you, did you date him? Did you date him after the talk?
I
Because you
told
been
you
dodging the
no,
question, like,
Golden. I literally said no when you first asked it,
oh,
and then I
my
said you made that up, and then you asked it again.
because I thought you were trying to be funny. So
Why do you think I'm
I
trying to go
had to be
against you though?
funnier.
Like,
I had to be funnier, but okay. I can respect that. See, me and you we may have disagreements, but I can respect that you said no to him. I can respect that. I ain't no hard feelings.
Oh yeah, Jess definitely not dating
Trumper.
no Trumper.
Ugh.
Nah, she'll date a person who rock with Kamala Harris more so, if that makes sense, Golden.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
just put two and two together. She'll date a person who rock with Biden, Harris, and Obama, right? And Clinton, right?
Not Clinton.
Okay,
See?
but Obama, right?
Mondami.
The mayor
Bernie
of New York.
Sanders.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, possibly. What's his name? It's escaping my name now, but he's on CNN. Those people who
Yeah.
got
I would
some
date
sense.
somebody who I love Al Green to the T. Al Green is amazing. Older man. I really like Al Green. I
Oh,
like Crockett.
I so in love with you. You mean that Al Green? You mean?
No, yeah, that Al Green too, but that's Al Green who won the seat, the chair, what's
Yeah,
that chair called?
the
Yeah.
politician Al Green. Yeah.
Yeah, the politician. I love that Al Green too in that one too. I love Jasmine Crockett, but my man gotta be pro activist. Like he gotta be the one. Like I want my man to be the one that start a new Black Panther. I want to start a new Black Panther, but
New Black
I
Panther.
want to do
Yeah.
that. Honestly,
You
I'm being so
should.
serious.
You should definitely.
Now, Golden. I may disappoint you. I may not. I don't vote anymore. So I know that's a deal breaker for a lot of women. I stopped voting. But I do support local voting and local grassroots causes only. But I don't vote for presidents anymore.
I love that. I can get with that. And why I say that because I totally get what you're saying because our votes never been the majority votes. Our votes never been, votes that they really care for. Our votes never been something that they prioritize. I think that when it comes to majority votes, I think they only pick YT votes, and that's something that I really have seen because you're not telling me Donald Trump has had all these racist remarks and he got up there like he got president. It's rigged. Listen. I understand you coming from the government is rigged because after Bill Clinton pulled that smums in our neighborhood, it started arresting us and stuff like that, and then on top of that, we go further. Even when the justice system was even being built and stuff like that, the legal system was being built, they had slave hunters. So the 13th Amendment, right? We're still 3/5 of a person. We're still 3/5 of a person. We're still property. Like we're still property. And I think that the government do not benefit black people. These laws do not benefit black people. The government is corrupting our people. And if you are a person that loves government and you are a person that who likes voting. To me personally, we gotta all stop voting. Like, listen, once we all stop voting, that's when we can really change the whole game. I really agree with you on that because I think that for thousands of years they've been using voting to psychologically manipulate us, to have control over us and control over the power of against black people. That's why so many laws and so many different things been pushed out now. Because as black people, we thought these laws gonna better us and these laws gonna help us by us having that voice. But no, it only took away our voice. I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say why. And Zacchaeus, my bad, man. To kind of go there on your topic, man, but I feel like we're still kind of like within it. So everything that you said, Golden, and the things that you stand for, I better understand why you would rather stay with your own people, because you having this conversation with someone outside of that, or let's put it like this, because it could be another black man, but if that black man is not conscious like you, this is why Zacchaeus talked about the conscious community. If he's not conscious like you and pro-black like you, because everything you're saying is not foreign to me. My black studies is up there pretty high. So I definitely understand what you're talking about, right? And so, yeah, a person that would more so mesh with you is somebody who has his mind and has knowledge of self himself. Because if you get with a brother who is not big on knowledge of self, the things you're saying to him are going to be foreign to him too. And he just like you, look just like you, a foundational black American just like you, right? But if his mind is not where you at as far as his studies and yours, y'all are not going to work either. Here you could be up here talking about Malcolm X, right? And his manuscripts, and Stokely Carmichael, also known as Kwame Ture, and sisters like Shahrazad Ali and Sister Soldier, and he could disregard that. He could disregard it because he just doesn't connect with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about what you read up on and connect with, Golden.
Right.
And Golden, like I just said, I've had women not date me because they asked me who I voted for. And I said, I ain't vote for nobody. They said, that's not good enough either. Goodbye.
Oh wow! Just because of that?
Well, because they want.
But you don't. But you do vote locally though.
I haven't voted over 15 years. I said I support local voting from grassroots candidates only. I have yet to come across one. You know what Zacchaeus told me? Then you're gonna be waiting forever, because even Zacchaeus knows himself that they pick the people and put them in front of us, and then they tell us who we vote for.
That's a fact.
Now, if we could pick the candidates, just like the Israeli community could pick their candidates, just like that community could pick their candidate, and this cultural people could pick their candidate, then we have something to talk about.
But so who picks your mayor? Are you saying that there is like the PACs who pick who's going to be running in your Democratic and Republican primaries for like mayors?
So I'm from New York City. Right, so I know all about PACs and who they pick up. Right, The only grassroots candidate that I've ever came across, and Zacchaeus, you know his name when I say it, Jimmy McMillan.
Oh yes, the rent is too damn high.
And he got my vote easily because he was not picked by no PAC. This man had an organic campaign, and he had a working families campaign, right? And his working families campaign was able to align with some of the things that I agree with and stand for when it comes to empowering the things that he wanted to do would have helped us.
So your biggest thing is that the candidate is being funded by these super PACs, that they could not be considered grassroots to you. And obviously, most of the time when somebody's trying to fund their campaign, they are getting it not through grassroots means. And that's why you have not voted in the last couple of years.
I have not voted in the last couple of years because lobbyism definitely picks who's in front of us, and more likely they are a Democrat or a Republican. Jimmy McMillan was not tied to any party. As a matter of fact, he created his own political party called the Rent is Too Damn High Party.
I remember that.
Okay. So when I say grassroots, I really mean grassroots. Roots. I mean out the mud. I mean, homie from down the block, Tommy, decided that he want to run for president, and he says, "Yeah, I ain't a Democrat or a Republican." And then he says, "No, I'm independent. I'm a rock with him because he doesn't have any lobbyists and special teams behind him pushing them in front of pushing them up to the point where now." To the point where how we identify you is because you're more so of your party. It's not so much you. So they put you up there in a church, and right after they speak, they sell chicken dinners, and then we're supposed to vote for you because you a Democrat or a Republican. Nah, I ain't rocking with that. And as a matter of fact, one last thing, Justin, I'm gonna let you cook, and I'm gonna be quiet for a while because I gotta get ready for my portion. I gotta get ready for the finale of the show from 9 to 12. Okay, so also this, Jess, right? Because I believe the right wing and the left wing are the two wings of the same bird, right? Of the same bird, right? The same dirty bird, right? So for me. If you don't adhere to the black agenda, no matter what color you are, because you could be white and do this, right? Then you don't get my vote. Okay, fifth, what's the black agenda? Look up the Black Panthers 10-point program. That is the black agenda that I align with.
Clark, that's
And guess what? No, it's not a guess. You feel that we're not gonna vote because you know why? They don't support that. Because you know what the candidates say? Oh no, we gotta do for everybody. Everybody's on their agenda. Everybody else get the support, but black people we don't get the support like that.
We should change the law, but we change the law in a way of not having to vote. And what I mean by that is why as black people we're so, listen. I understand that we couldn't vote X, Y, and Z, but voting didn't do much for us because every time we turn around, there's a new YT president. There's new YT president making all of these laws that's not benefiting our community, that's not helping our people. Our vote is useless to America, love. You gotta understand that. And when it comes to us changing laws, I'm all down for not voting. I'm all down for not voting. But I'm also down. I also want us to change law. Instead of voting, let's all come together to change the executive law. And that's how we have power. Because once we change those laws, now we have power. Now we have the say so. Now we've made our presence known. Because we didn't take the voting. The voting didn't do us no good at all. Because listen, love, within these laws and within the Constitution itself, there's laws that restrict us from doing stuff, and we have to look in with each of them. For example, the jails. Do you know that every black body these jails get is profit going into the government's pocket, love? Every black body every black body goes into them jails or that prison, the government is getting money off us for going to jail. That's why they over policed it, love. So you have to understand that. And yeah, you have to understand that laws. You have to understand that voting was never something. How do I say? They want us to. Yeah, laws were never something they wanted us to actually do. It was something that we had to fight for. And mind you, once we fight for the voting and stuff like that, that's when they manipulated us and all types of shit, all types of stuff like that. So you just have to look within everything, because everything is not just the president, the government, and then the whole. I can't say the the justice system and stuff like that. Let's say that, but like everything is a psychological manipulation to generate profit off us. Everything, the casinos, the jails, everything, even mental health clinics and stuff like that. Everything was set in place to keep us oppressed, love. Even voting, love. Voting, we have no say so who gets in that office. Our vote don't make it the majority. It makes it the minority. It makes it the minority, love. A very small portion. The white people votes actually matter. If you look into it, love.
Okay, so this is not in response to Golden. I don't want it to come off
Oh,
like that.
really? Oh, okay. I love that. See, I love when you.
Golden, it's my time, babe. It's my time.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
give it to you, love. I'll give it to you, love. Calm
Okay.
down. Thank you.
Do that. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to say that because I know sometimes it can seem like when somebody talks after is in response to them, but it's not. So I just want to say that if our vote was not important, they would not be trying so hard to remove it from us. There would not be this push of redistricting. There would not be this push to dilute the vote in all of these certain counties if our vote did not matter. What I think is very important, though, is like what Fifth said, is getting back to our local and state elections, because those are the people who are in Congress. Not obviously not the local ones, but the state ones. Those are the people who are in Congress who are making the laws, right? And I think we put too much of an emphasis on the presidential vote, and we don't remember that there's a whole other two branches, right, of a system that exists outside of that presidential vote. And we need more people. And again, while we know that the BLK population only makes up 13.5% of the population, coupled with the Hispanic population, coupled with the Asian American population, we would outnumber white people. The minorities outnumber the quote unquote elitist class. And so if we try to segregate ourselves because of our individual preconceptions of each other, I do believe that that's how the YT oppressors are keeping us uninformed, under economically mobilized, and all of these things, because they know if we all corral together, we would actually outnumber them. So I don't think it's just about getting more BLK people out to vote, even though I think it's important for BLK people to be more civically involved. I think it's about everybody, and us recognizing that it's always been the small town folk that outnumbered the kings and the queens. And the small town folk stopped with the infighting and started to recognize who their real enemy was. They could corral their numbers to overthrow oppressive regimes. But at this point, we can't, because there's so much infighting and there's so much misinformation. And again, corralling our numbers again is more important with the local and the state elections. So just pushing for that. And I'm having a voter registration at my church. So if that inspires anybody to do something like that, where you're just getting people, again, if they don't vote, fine, but at least they're informed about what's going on, how this person even got on the ballot, what they believe, if that even aligns with you. Do you know what you believe? Those kinds of things. I think that's a step forward.
Okay. May I respond to what you said, Jess? Okay. The Hispanic population don't all identify with each other, so it's hard to unite with them. The Asian population, many of them are mixed up in many different groups. Okay, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Indian, right? Because they call themselves Indians, even call themselves Asians, right? Okay. Black people. There's Black American. There's Black Caribbean. There's Black African. They're not all on the same page. This is why I say it has to be agenda based. If it's agenda based, then that actually doesn't matter what color you are. If you are white tea, if you're gonna say you're like I don't know about for those who know who Tim Wise is, he does a lot of talking, right? But I don't know if he actually supports reparations. That's number one. Okay, let me get to my next point. If other people outside of Black Americans all hold their vote hostage and say, look, we're going to vote based off of these issues and an agenda that we have that you're going to take on, no different from when other cultures do the same thing when they have an agenda, right? When they have an agenda, right? And that is they're all in agreement that even if this agenda doesn't benefit me, I support y'all so y'all can get it. So if a whole bunch of non-black people, if black people and non-black people said, we're going to vote in favor of the cause of some of the cause is that there's going to be things in a black agenda that's going to be attended to, then yes, we will vote for that. Usually it doesn't happen because you know what happens? The Asians vote their agenda. This group votes their agenda and their agenda only, and nobody tells them they can't vote that way. But black people are told that we can't just have a president for black people, they're for everybody, right? But we see things put in policy and put in motion that always goes in front of us. And once again, our issues get put to the back burner. And this is why Martin Luther King wrote a book and before he was taken away from us called Why We Can't Wait. And that book was a response to Zacchaeus. That was a response to Lyndon B. Johnson and how he treated him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why we can't wait. It was a letter that he written when he was in prison.
Okay, when he was in prison. Okay. Now remember Lyndon B's relationship with Martin Luther King was a little different because at the time Martin Luther King had a friend in Kennedy. But then Kennedy was taken away. And then so Martin Luther King was like, well, you're the president now. Right. Okay, you're the president now. And this was on the table. And for those who don't know, Lyndon B. Johnson was a Republican, right?
Right.
And usually you don't have a Democrat and a Republican sharing the presidency like that. Usually it's not a bipartisan seat. It's usually both Republican or both Democrats.
Yes.
Yeah. But Lyndon B was the president at the time. Did Lyndon B do some things that had to be handled at the JFK? Yeah. But the relationship between Lyndon B and Martin Luther King was very different. You know what I'm saying? And
it was different. Yeah.
I think that's how JFK won because they were not rocking with JFK. But when JFK had the debate and the debate was on television, people was like, huh, okay. And then also, like I said, JFK chose Lyndon B. Johnson. He showed that, you know what, I'm trying to go across party lines. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do something that has never been done, or at least barely been done, because I don't know if that was done before them too. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So Jess, I'm going to let you respond because I did respond to you about, you know, how I think votes could mobilize if it's agenda based. If it's not agenda based, then we're just doing the same thing. We're just voting for a Democrat or a Republican, and they don't really tend to our agenda, and it is what it is, and we're back in the hamster wheel.
So Fifth, what you talked about was like logistics. So I think it was just the second part to my conversation. It really wasn't in contrast or in conflict with what I said. So to me, you started a whole different conversation, which is valid. It just didn't have anything to do with what I particularly said.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grassroots just means we actually pick you. You know. Let me so what it's 9:04. So Zacchaeus, let's get everyone's final thoughts on this topic before we move to the last topic of the night.
Yes. So let's get everyone's final thoughts on should you date somebody outside your race and your thoughts about it. Final thoughts on this discussion. Final thoughts on this discussion. Um, and I know where I stand. Let me get out of. Then I'll give you my. Then I'm gonna land. I'm gonna let. Who wants to go first? Can go first. Ultimate. Ray, you want to go first?
Yeah, let Ultram go because he said he got 5 minutes.
I just believe that whether it be race or whatever, do you, me personally, I believe in compatibility no matter what the color or race is. I believe in peace. I just don't believe in restricting myself just to say I'm gonna date or marry this race or not. But that's just me.
Golden, you there?
Okay.
I'm here.
You got your final thoughts on the this topic before we move on to the next one? I'm still doing a marathon, so should race matter when choosing a spouse? You have any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna just say, ooh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna say this is be cautious, be socially aware of, and make sure you ask intentional questions because not everybody is for your people and not everybody is for your not for the cause. Um, I do think every culture is beautiful. I do have respect for every culture, but also when you're dating, just be socially aware of people intentions be make sure they for the cause and for your people and make sure you'll have intentional conversations. Yeah, that's it. All love.
Um,
Jess, get to
Jess.
Jess. Yeah.
And then I'll say, being incredibly superficial with our relationships does no good to us in multiple different areas of our life. And so I think we have to give people back their humanity. I think we have to be more curious. And I think we have to think about community that exists outside of us, even community that may be uncomfortable at times. And this is just speaking from like a Christian standpoint of how we're supposed to live with each other and in live in a symbiotic nature with each other. So I just think if we can add people's humanity back to them, add curiosity back into conversations, then we can progress as a culture and as a society.
Okay. Zacchaeus, I'm gonna go, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
So, it's your choice. It's your choice. There's nothing wrong with loving your own people and wanting kids that look like you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with you wanting to go outside. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got no issue with that. You know? But just know that when you go outside, you accept all of the situation there. Okay? And if you're gonna go outside, you better do it for real. No fetishizing. When you like I say all the time, when you marry someone, when you date someone, you date their culture. Okay? You marry their culture. All right? You respect these people. You treat these people with some dignity and some class. If that's what you're going to do, right? You're going to take the good and the bad with it. You're going to be patient with them, but then also understand that it's not. Don't let that thing be one-sided. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. In my experience, I've seen no one go harder for interracial arrangements than black people. I never really see it on the other side to us. But I'll always more so see it on us to them. And I'm pretty sure there may be a reason for that, which is probably is deeply rooted into how we feel and love ourselves. A lot of times as black people, we're taught to seek validation from other races so that we can feel validated as a people. No. If Malcolm X were here today, he would say, who told you how to hate your black skin? Who told you how to hate your black hair? You were taught that. Okay? So, also I would say this. Malcolm X also said the black woman is the most unprotected. Guess what Shahrazad Ali said? The black man is the most hated man on the planet. So if you're going to get with somebody who understands those two things, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's within your race or outside of your race, you may have found a gem. You may have. You know? And then, here's the thing, right? Nothing's too hard for God, right? But I've met a lot of so-called Christians who call themselves Christians who are still racist. And that is a big thing that we need to check. Oh, and if you don't believe it, all you got to do is turn on the TV, because you got a lot of people who call themselves Christians and they openly support a white supremacist. You know who else who call themselves Christians? The Ku Klux Klan. If you are a black man and a black woman, and I can't tell the difference between your rhetoric and David Duke, we have a problem.
Yes, absolutely.
So be careful who you line yourself with. Now, if you line yourself with someone who is a true believer, right? And they also understand the struggle. Then you could work it out. But I just want to say it. I do believe love conquers all, like how it says in the scriptures. Love covers a multitude of things. I'm trying to think. There's a scripture, Peter, 1 Peter. And there's another scripture too. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is this. If y'all can get past it, you can. Me personally, when I dated outside, I experienced racism within my relationships. Oh, yes. It was there. I experienced racism in my interracial relationships. Yes. Absolutely. I ain't even get a chance to really touch on that earlier because I had to do other things. But that is something that I've definitely experienced. Okay? And that is why you're all loving and hugging and kissing on each other and they're getting what they need. Now when it's time for you to get what you need, when something racist happens, when there's a social issue on the line, and then the person that you're in a relationship is looking at you like, that ain't my problem. End that relationship immediately. As a matter of fact, when George Floyd got taken away from us, there were many interracial couples who broke up. I'm not even lying. When Obama won, there were interracial couples who broke up. When Trump won, there were interracial couples who broke up. I'm telling you, this stuff is real. And let me tell you something. A lot of times you don't know it's there until it happens. Usually you find out where someone stands when something racist happens. That is a fact.
That's a fact, yeah.
And for all you brothers out there that want to date Mexicans, yo, if she tells you she ain't rocking with ICE, you ain't rocking with ICE. Okay? Brothers, you with women who don't look like you, or women who do look like you. If you have a strong stance against police brutality and the injustice that happens to black men and women, and she ain't down for the cause, get rid of her immediately. Now, for some black people, that may not matter. There are black people who really don't care about black issues. Okay, so, that's not going to matter to them. But if it matters to you, then be very careful what you pick. That is my final thought. Zacchaeus, you have the floor and take all the time you need.
Hey, how you doing? All right. Yeah. So I agree 100% what Fifth says. 100% what Fifth says. So basically, if they're not supporting you, if you're dating somebody and you bring up issues like the George Floyd issues, and you bring issues like no Wells, this case about no Wells, you bring up any issues when it comes to supporting who you are as a black person, and they're not, I can see people breaking up because of that. They're not supporting you, then basically you can't support them. Because the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, it's how you, if you're compatible with them, because that's a compatible factor too. Listen, you're facing situations, you've been stopped by the police. Only you as a black person know how you feel when certain things are not given to you, what we experience in this country. So therefore, if you're marrying somebody, just understand and know that some of them, maybe a lot of them, not gonna understand your plight. You may be attracted to them and you want to date. You may connect in other ways, but understand that if they don't support you, this could be an issue in a in a in a matter of time. It's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be an issue. You may cover it up. You may hide it, or you may be a black person that's not really into who you are. Or you're not really rocking with supporting your own black people. That's okay. Okay, there's a lot of black folks like that. There's quite a few of them like that. But understand. One day you're gonna have if you don't have kids. One day if you don't have kids, don't matter who you marry, who you intermarry with. One day you're gonna have a black son. One day you're gonna have a black daughter, and they might be stopped by the police or racially profiled, and that issue is gonna. Don't matter how light skinned that person is, that issue is gonna come up again. Remember there was a young kid in, was it Texas? I think he was biracial, but that didn't matter because when he went into that Asian store, they you know pow pew, and now he's no longer here. If you know what I'm talking about, the young kid with the braids in his hair, I forgot his name. He went into the Asian store and he's no longer here, and and now you're gonna have and that's gonna be a discussion that you and whoever your significant other is gonna have. So I'm gonna land right there.